voices, strong knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From brother Tad to sister Kate, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcia brings the heat, brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Thursday nights, the world will see Black Power Media on the spree. Facebook, YouTube, all aligned, breaking free from everybody. Social talk in politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Tune in, feel the ancestral line.
All viral.
Man, y'all make sure y'all share this video and make sure y'all subscribe to All Viral Access Media. You know the vibes.
They thought we forgot, but we never forget. This one's for the rules. We built this land from dust and tears, 400 years, and we still here. They write new rules, but they don't see every freedom they got came off you and me. We planted seeds, they took the bloom. We lit the flame, they left the room. But we back now, know the sky. The spirit's woke, we realize all we want is what we earn. That sweat and blood, yeah, that table turn. You can't buy culture, can't fake that fight. This is our day, this is our ride. We FBAs. Say it loud, say it strong. We the heartbeat that's been here all along. Foundational Black Americans, stand tall. We ain't begging for nothing, we built that all. Born from pain and grace, you can see the truth written in our face. We the soul, the sound, to fight the flame. Foundational Black Americans, say our name. They love our rhythm, but they dodge our blues. Use our voice when it fits their news. They take our sound, but not our scars. We the backbone, we the stars. Now the veil is gone, the mask is clear. We see the game, we know what's here. No more silence, no more lies. We lift that flag and watch it rise. Rise up. We the ones that made this nation breathe. Our pain turned to power. Our roots are trees. We know world. It's rhythm and grace now, and now we reclaiming our rightful place. Can't copy courage, can't steal pain. You can't inherit soul by changing names. Our story ain't done, it's the revival. We guard the gate, it's about survival. We FBA, say it proud, say it loud. The world dances on what we vow. Foundational Black Americans, still we stand, still we fight, still we demand. Every block, every song, we've been right here all along. The soul of a people strong and free. Foundational Black Americans.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your Sister K Fighter, Brother Tad, excuse me, Sister Marcia, Brother Blacksmith. Brother Tad will be off this evening. We want to wish him the best. My brother will be back again next week with us, family. So don't worry. He'll be back up on the Brooklyn Bridge. So tonight we have our weekly correspondents, Sister Brooke and U.S. Freedmen Project President, Brother Divine. It's going to be heavy tonight. We're going to continue what we did last week. Plus, we got some updates on some things. Brother Divine is going to hit us with the 1-2. It's about to get heavy. But before we do, while my sister Marcia get ready behind the scenes, let's give some shout outs real quick. K Rush, what's happening, Big Russ? Philly in the building. What's good, family? Hope all is well with you. Sister Tanisha, peace and black power to you, sis. Let me just say, y'all, this week's broadcast is brought to you by our brother Terrell and our sister Tanisha. Let's clap it up and give them a round of applause. This episode is brought to you by them. Trust and believe, trust and believe. Sister Brooke will be with us shortly. Sister Farnessa, keep it going over there on TikTok. You gotta let them know, sis, it gets wild over there. It gets wild over there. People talk reckless. They feel they can say whatever the hell they want to say. I mean, the disrespect is heavy over there in TikTok land. But we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it a little later. We're going to get into it for sure. Who did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Yes, I did. Uncle Jesse, Aunt Marie on the check-in. What's happening, family? Brownsville finest up on the bridge. Shout out to my other family members that's watching it. Anthony over there in California. What's happening? Arnold and Connie, what's good? Pizzo, I see you. What's happening? What up, Michelle? I see you, girl. I see you. The playback game. There you go. The BK Mackey History Club up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening with you, Brother Ray Ray? Hope all is well. You know. No, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it, Brother Ray Ray. I'm going to save it. So, let me see. Brother Blacksmith, you ready? All right. Welcome to the Brooklyn Bridge, our very own from the Bronx. Brother Blacksmith, what's happening?
I'm chilling, Sister Keisha. How you doing today?
Good, brother. Good.
Can you hear me?
Good. Yes, I hear you loud and clear. Clear. A lot of shenanigans.
And your family? How's your family?
Everybody's
I just wanted
fine.
to ask you. You can proceed. I'm done.
All right. But, you know, for all of those don't know about the boule, you know, I'm going to give you a quick crash course, real quick. All right? Let's talk about the boule because we got to deal with these bootlicks that are all over the place. We got to deal with them. So we'll listen to Bishop John Wick and we'll come right back. Hold on.
Look at Sean Combs. He was an FBI informant until he was arrested. He was an FBI informant going back to the 1990s. So why did the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security raid his house here in Homely Hills? Thousands of videotapes of senators, congressmen, okay, including people like Hakeem Jeffries now is on those tapes. Why do you think President Trump got his tax bill passed? Mm-hmm. Now, President Trump can reveal the Epstein and the Diddy list, but he's smart. He says, I'm keeping this. You see?
That's a leverage.
Leverage. And so Diddy is going down, okay? People like Stephen A. Snitch, okay? His best friend, Stephen A. Snitch, is a boule, okay? I met him about 2 years ago at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Nice guy, but he is what we call a house Negro, okay?
What does it mean?
A house Negro is a person, a boule, that protects the gate of its master. A house Negro, as Malcolm X says, protects the system of its master. Stephen A. Smith used to say, I'm so excited about making money for my bosses. Okay, so Disney, okay, pedophiles, and ESPN. And if you are pro-Trump, they will fire you. Okay, another topic for another day. So then, Stephen A. Snitch is a boule. Okay, so all of these people, these black journalists like Gabby Phillips on the Crack News Network, they're boules. Okay, Gayle King, of CBS News, shortly after Kobe was assassinated, she interviewed a former WNBA player who was great friends with Kobe, Lisa Leslie, and was asking Lisa Leslie, did Kobe rape that girl and call her, bashing the reputation of Kobe Bryant. Why? Because boules do this, and then right after that interview, Gayle King, Oprah Winfrey's girlfriend, gets a $500,000 raise. This is what they do. They don't care about us. These gatekeepers, I'm telling you, Reverend Al, Vitamin B Deficient Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Benjamin Crump, Farrakhan, they're all a part of the boule secret society.
So we have this huge club, right? So Skull and Bones, then we have the Boulets, we have all the names, you name it. Clintons, Bidens, Obamas. Who's not in the club from this administration? But because it feels like this administration with Trump and J.D. Vance and all those guys, it's like they're the opposite of those, but they're in their club of their own. That's what it feels like.
You know what? They are, but they're not a part of the Illuminati. They're not a part of Phi Beta Kappa or Kappa Beta Phi, but they're playing the game. That's how they got into power.
Woo! Woo, Brother Black. We already know, but, a lot of people don't. So we had to bring the 1-2 up in there. But, shout out to Brother Ray Ray again. He said all them high-profile blacks was at the freak party. He said they was all at the freak party. Now, I've been calling for this Epstein file. Say that again?
Including your last mayor.
Oh, speaking of him, well, I'm going to play something about him in a minute. But, of course, when you get Sister Brooke, who just got fired? I might have missed that. You got to let me know. Sister Marcia, you ready? Uh-oh, Africans on the rise up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening, sis? What's happening?
Peace, family. Happy Blacktastic Thursday. Nothing's happening and everything is happening all at the same time, but all is well. Thank you for having me again, Brother Black, Sister Keisha. Always
good to see you, sis.
She said Stephen A. Smith. Oh, good.
You got fired from what? You fired from what?
ESPN, I think.
You should watch Charles Oakley video, a podcast interview about his life in the NBA, and he talks about Stephen A. Smith, how he wouldn't give him no play when he wrote his book. I'm currently listening to Charles Oakley's book now, and it's very, very interesting. He talks about how drugs was rampant in the league when he was in the league, talking about the mid-'80s, early '90s, and how rampant it was. So his book is very, very interesting. Now, speaking of, Big Russ said First Take. I guess that's the name of his ESPN show. Yeah, Brooke said when they finish with their tools, they throw you away. But he thought he was special.
I'm looking it up as we speak, and it says that he wasn't fired from Countdown on ESPN. Now, I don't know. I'm just looking at it right now. I just heard it when you said it. So I'll look it up, and I'll send a link or two in our interior chat, and then we go from there.
Okay. Now, let's deal with Eric Adams and his shenanigans. Sister Marcia's favorite over here. And I'm going to play this in
a.m. in the morning, I'm sitting in the back of a closed barbershop or beauty salon, smoking a cigar and drinking some Henny or a single malt scotch. This is a city of swagger. We need a mayor of swagger. We can talk about erectile dysfunction, but not clitoris stimulation. Something is wrong. I had a shorty that lived out here. I know what it is to buy a nickel bag and make 8 joints so mommy can feed herself. Andrew Cuomo is a snake and a liar. I'm here today to endorse Andrew Cuomo. You know, I wake up in the morning at some time and look at myself and I give myself the finger. I am the pilot, folks, and you are all passengers. Pray for me to land the plane, because there's no parachutes on this plane. We're all going down together. Start the day with telling my team, we gotta follow the law. I sleep well at night with my little teddy bear because I follow the rules. I was not offered any position to go to Turkey, to eat turkey, to do anything else. You have to inspect what you expect, or it's all suspect. When I do my dime, I can do my time, and I won't hear anyone whine.
I don't want to get flagged for the song playing, but this, as Sister Brooke says, always on his damn knees. Always on his knees. Sister Marcia, your thoughts of your outgoing mayor?
Well, then he spent some beautiful time in Israel telling them that he fought for them and he respects them and all his love and appreciation for them, and forgets the people of New York, and especially the people that look like him. But those that look like him never mattered to him.
Here he is coming on his Israel trip. You know, I know Brother Ray likes this. Hold on.
Male T here in Israel. And as I finish, I wanted to come back here to Israel and let you know that I serve you as the mayor, but I want to continue to have the title that's more important to me than anything. I'm your brother. Thank you. My male.
Sister Marcia.
I don't know whose brother he is, but he's not my brother. And I guess he's more their brother than our brother, as he's supposed to be. But we don't matter. And we don't matter because we don't do the checks and balances that we're supposed to. Unfortunately, all the people that knew he was corrupt from a long time ago wouldn't hold him accountable. And, you know, he's going out with a shabash. So he's serving his people, and he had to give them farewell. Hopefully they're going to give him a job, you know, in the new state country that they're forming over there.
And he's not the only one that's over there kissing the rings, you know, that's falling, you know, to the knee, if you will, because I don't know if y'all have seen this over the years, but I think I said this many times on this platform previous years, that they are trying to make this the United States of Israel. And, you know, they've already had a stronghold on New York for quite some time. And when it all said and done, I blame the voters. I blame the voters. This is on your head. Hold on.
I told a Jewish rabbi he had to act. They came to visit me. They didn't come to visit you. They make you come to visit them. I said they came to visit me, not no little ones. And after we had a very frank talk, I said to the rabbi, I said, Rabbi, he invited me to speak before the board of rabbis in Chicago. He said, would you come? I said, tomorrow. Then he asked me, another one asked me, would you speak at my congregation? I said, tonight. He said, but they're going to ask you about Hitler. I said, there's no question that they can ask me that intimidates me. When I accepted the invitation so readily, they wanted to withdraw it. Right. I'm just telling you the truth. Why would you want to talk to my people? I said, because I'm concerned. I said, my people are in bad condition and they're about to be destroyed. I said, but so are yours. I said, this Quran teaches me that you have already had 2 chastisements and the 3rd one is on the way. I said, I would like to see you and your people avert that chastisement. And I'm trying to get my people out of the way of God's judgment.
It's really sad that the state of black manhood in media, not in life, but in media, and have kneeled and kissed the ring. Not just black men, but black women as well. Those who are in politics are a disgrace. From Maxine Waters to Jasmine Crockett to nigga Jim Clyburn, all of them are a disgrace. But you should never trust the entertainer. And I always say that because they are liars by trade.
Malcolm told us too.
Say that again?
Malcolm told us too.
Oh, yes, absolutely. They are liars by trade. And so you should never trust the entertainer. All they do is flip-flop. But, oh yes, Sister Farnessa, Dr. Cynthia McKinney was the only one who didn't bend the knee. Absolutely. That's why they had to get her up out of there. But she was on their behinds. Heavy. And I say this again. What's today? November 20th, 8:23 p.m., 2025. We missed the goddamn boat by not voting for Sister Dr. McKinney in 2008. Everybody fell for the magic mulatto. And if you have read Dr. Chancellor Williams' Destruction of Civilization, 4500 BC to 2000 AD, you would know about the magic mulatto. But we fell for the okie doke, not once, but twice. Twice. We would have had reparations already. Because Cynthia McKinney was running on that. She was running on that. And I have to say it again. People missed it when Alton said black people in America have to redefine themselves. I pay attention to everything. It's unfortunate that it took us so long, one, to redefine ourselves and to wake up politically. Sister Pat said, Cynthia McKinney wouldn't swear the oath to Israel like Hakeem Jeffries is. Has done, is doing, will continue to do. I didn't say that. He said that. Not me. What's that? Philly Habit, 9:30. Obama is also against Oh, yes. Yes. He's a tether. A magic mulatto tether. You see? And so now, when people are calling out the BS, it's right on time. It's right on time. But tonight we're going to continue our conversation about the disgrace that is Africa right now. And I don't care what anybody's saying. It's a goddamn disgrace. They bend the knee to every goddamn body. Everybody. You cried about colonization with the white man. Now you chose another white man and an Asian man. And you still got the Arab foot on your neck. They still running slavery to this day. But as people try to convince us to go over there to live, to build. They don't tell you everything about what's going on over there. They don't give you the full Mickey over there. Now, how am I going to bring my daughters over there when they got this going on?
What exactly is FGM? FGM is the non-medical practice that intentionally removes female genital organs. Often, girls are cut when they are still very young, in some cases under the age of 5. FGM is practiced all over the world, but is predominant in 30 countries. In some of those countries, high prevalence rates mean that nearly all girls still experience FGM. There are 4 types of FGM. Type 1, clitoridectomy, meaning removal of the clitoris. Type 2, excision, meaning removal of the clitoris and the labia. Type 3, infibulation, meaning a narrowing of the vaginal opening, sometimes through stitching. Type 4, all other harmful procedures not covered by the first 3, including pricking, stretching, scraping, or even using acid to mutilate parts of the genitalia. Once more for everyone in the back, it is non-medical and has 0 health benefits, but it can cause a lot of other things. Severe bleeding, complications in childbirth, problems urinating, problems menstruating, problems having sex, mental health issues, shock, death. More than 200 million women have undergone female genital mutilation, FGM, with 3 million more at risk every single year. FGM is violence against women and girls, child abuse, sexual assault. Often it's about controlling female sexuality, a tradition to prepare a woman for marriage, allegedly to purify them for their husbands. Sometimes it's done to girls because it was done to their mothers, as a rite of passage or a coming-of-age ritual, or even without much of an explanation at all. It's a cycle of social pressure that's hard to shake, but not impossible. Actually, many people in these countries want the practice to end forever. And though it is often shrouded in secrecy, many survivors told Global Citizen they wanted to talk about the reality of FGM so that they can help end it altogether. We should probably mention too, FGM is not a religious exercise. It happens in Christian, Muslim, and Jewish communities, but there is nothing in any of their holy books that teaches it. Basically, FGM is violence against girls. So how can we end FGM forever? Education, teaching doctors and teachers what signs to look for and how to respond sensitively. Cultural intervention, survivors telling their stories to their own communities. Laws and policies, enforcing consequences when FGM is carried out and making policy changes that further deter the practice. The time to end FGM is now. Just head to globalcitizen.org/FGM Among Us to find out more.
Every 11 seconds, a girl is being cut. So the fact that we're not outraged, it's absolutely crazy to me. The world hasn't tackled FGM because the majority affects Black children. You know, we can't say every child matters and then pick and choose the ones that matter. I was cut for my future husband, so I don't have sex outside marriage, so I don't enjoy sex. Primarily, my body is just there to carry babies. What I experienced was actually one of the worst forms of abuse. I 100% wholeheartedly believe FGM will end, but the only way that's going to end is we need to end all forms of oppression against human beings.
But let's be honest, FGM is not culture, it is cruelty. Guinea, 95%. Djibouti, 93%. Mali, 89%. Sierra Leone, 83%. Egypt, 87%. Let me take you on a horrifying tour across the African continent. Countries still deep in the grip of this outdated, dehumanizing practice. Somalia, 99% of women aged 15 to 49 have undergone FGM. Eritrea, 83%. Sudan, 87%. Burkina Faso, 76%. Gambia, 87%. And Nigeria, 19.2 million women and girls have been mutilated. 1 in 4 Nigerian women, most before the age of 5. These are not numbers. These are daughters, sisters, friends, real lives, forever altered. Real girls silenced by tradition and betrayed by those who should have been defending them. But let's be honest, FGM is not culture. It is cruelty. It is not tradition. It is torture. And it is not a rite of passage. It is a violation.
So when they out here trying to get you to go stay your ass over there, they not talking about this part. Where the Pan-African is on this shit. Why y'all quiet on this? Stop trying to make it seem like some utopia, because it ain't. You just heard the numbers. I didn't say it. This is their story. Why is that okay? Why is everybody silent on that? But then you have Africans who come in these social media spaces like TikTok and X and talk about how bad Black Americans are. They negate the fact that their own heritage is mutilating girls. They don't talk about this in those TikTok spaces. But they'll talk about a Black American girl twerking on a video. You are sexually mutilating your girls. But you don't have nothing to say about that. Knock it off. Knock it off. You know, I don't like BS. Sister Farnessa says, I wonder if this is why so many of the women are so aggressive and hard like men. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that could be a reaction to having your clitoris cut off or sewn up. I don't know. Could be. Sister Marcia, your thoughts on FGM?
On the idea of why Pan-Africans don't talk about it, it baffles me. But since we live in such a patriarchal society where men only matter, and if the women of Pan-Africanism do not speak on this topic, even if the women do speak, they get shut down. But at the end of the day, they only care about male stuff, male circumcision, male this, male testosterone this, da, 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 da. Everything in a Pan-African forum is always geared to the men, and little voices are to the women. And it should be, and it must be discussed more, because this level of abuse to someone, even someone who hasn't gone through that and is going through other things. I could just imagine childbirth while you have this thing, going on in you. That tear is going to be so disruptive to the woman, and psychologically, this may be why people abandon their children, right? Because they cannot feel that level of connection with their child, because it's such a torturous event to birth the child through this thing. And then this may be another reason why they then promote circumcision so much. Not circumcision. What they do to the ladies when they're taking out the baby?
You talk C-section?
Thank you. Yeah, started with a C. Thank you, Brother Black. The C-section, maybe that's why the C-section is promoted so heavily in those countries these days, so that they are not feeling that level of torture, because it's I couldn't fathom it. And I'm sorry for these women that are experiencing this and that are going through it. And those who probably can't even have a voice to say no to their child, to the village that they're in, saying, no, my child is not going to go through this, and try to, it's a cycle just thinking about it.
It's crazy, but like I said, everybody talking about Ibrahim Traore, but you got to deal with this issue, partner. You got to deal with this issue.
Well,
what's the number that you said, Sister Marcia?
She said 76% in Burkina Faso. That was the lowest number out of all the numbers that she was expounding on in percentage. So they may be working on it on that land, and these remote places, that level of education, and to educate people on stop doing this is to really educate the men. The women will be like, oh yes, my daughter's not going to go through this, but the men are the ones that, oh, my daughter have to do this, my daughter have to do that. So at 76% versus all the other nations on the continent, kind of not nice, but it's in the right direction. Let's just put it that way.
I see. But, let's look at this. Okay? Born to unwed mothers, these children are trapped in Saudi Arabia. Because they keep sending them over there to be housemates or servants, call it slavery, to Saudi Arabia. These women get jailed and can't return back because of the laws there, right? Because of the laws. But you tell us we're animalistic, we're barbaric, but you don't got that energy for yourselves. I'm just showing you what it is. But you talk about us. You talk about how foundational Black Americans are in a pocket. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Question.
Now, go ahead, sis.
Who's the father of these children? Because these women who are
the Saudi Arabian men.
So then these women are probably being raped and assaulted and have no means of doing something to save themselves and that child. So
listen, the means is cut off the nuts of the person who is assaulting you. Because I wouldn't care. You won't kill me anyway, so I'm going to cut your nuts off. You will be a eunuch when I'm done. They don't have that fighting spirit like we got. And they can talk all that crap all they want to. Because even the dudes is suckers. They suckers too.
They are not just here to expand land issues. They are here to reorganize a population preservation of their own nation in other countries. They're overpopulated now, so they're pushing some of them here. Not only that, it's also a 30-year plan to take over certain parts of Africa. So the prisoners that are being sent here to come and work, they don't bring their wives. They come alone, prisoners and bachelors, who now are making children in Africa. And these children will be Chinese and African. But being African, these children are Chinese, who are going to be educated in our system, who will receive scholarships to go back to China and come back and become presidents and ministers in Africa. And by right, they are citizens because we're born here. It's a strategy.
Again, going from one slave master to another. But you talk about us. Keep your goddamn mouth closed when it comes to foundation of Black America. It's up. Now I'm going to tell about what it really is. Because like I said, I interviewed over 10 people. And you had Brother Tad, on here last week giving you his experiences. How when we go over there, you want us to come back. You want us to invest. But you're overcharging. price gouging, however way you want to call it. All of this that's going on. You a sucker to them. And, you know, one of the persons that I interviewed, she said, and I quote, when she was in Gory Island, they're on a boat going somewhere else. And White T-Man came and bullied his way over there, pushed past everybody. Nobody said nothing. But, you know, my friend from Brooklyn, that's not going to slide. So she pushed back. And it got to the point she had to hit one of them. And the African was telling her, no, no, no. Just let him go. Just let him go. Get the fuck out of here. We don't rock like that. We don't rock like that. People over there buying land or leasing it because they can't buy it. You leasing it and getting robbed at the same goddamn time. How is that okay? How is that okay? And then when you come here, some of them who come here interject themselves into our politics and advocate for themselves. Forget about those of us who are already here. You just as bad as the Arab and the white man. That's why you keep getting the kick in the ass that you're getting. And it's going to continue. Like the movie, what's that? The Color Purple? Until you do right by me, goddamn it, you're going to catch all kinds of hell. Because we're the ones that laid down for every goddamn body. But I ask you, again, November 20th, 2025, we were all these ethnic groups advocating for reparations for us. You quiet because you're not included in it. You quiet because you can't take hold of it. And where I come from, that makes you a bitch ass. That's where I come from. I come from Brooklyn. You know, I don't know how Brother Black do it in the Bronx, but in the Brooklyn, you a bitch ass.
I got my crown set at Brooklyn Bridge as soon as I cross.
God, he's gonna be honorary Brooklyn from now on. From now on. You know, but Sister Brooke, you ready? We about to go in. We about to go in heavy. Welcome to the stage, to the Brooklyn Bridge family. Our reparationist, Sister Brooke, on the check-in. What's happening, sis? What's happening?
What's up? What's going on? Oh my goodness. I see the conversation is already hot. It's already hot. Yeah.
You be in these spaces too.
Which space? Oh yeah. Yeah, the ones online where they be talking crazy. I can't even stay in there for long because I'll be like, yo, I don't be having the patience to be in there for a very long amount of time.
The slave auctions that they want to have for us. Go ahead.
I haven't heard about, but somebody was telling me that they having slave auctions online where people of the diaspora, because at this point, what's crazy is the Caribbeans are also involved. And that shocks me because I'm like, we have the same history when it comes to that part, right? You realize that the Africans sold you as well and made you go around the tree of forgetfulness, made you drink from the well of forgetfulness, whatever, I don't know, did the voodoo ceremony on you too. Like you. However, they seem to be Voltron uniting against us. And, they're going in and having a pseudo slave auctions. And that, like, there are a lot of elders who are saying, I don't know why FBA is doing this. I don't know why they're doing that. But at the same time, they have no words for people having pseudo slave auctions. And I don't understand. No, the person who said it, the warrior spirit that they used to have, used to say things like, you know, if you touch my kid, I'm gonna come after your whole family. But now I'm supposed to sit here and twiddle my thumbs and be quiet when somebody's having pseudo slave auctions. I'm supposed to ignore somebody having pseudo slave auctions and what they're doing to their daughters. How can you want us to unite when even in the Sudan, you know why people aren't paying attention? You know why the diaspora isn't paying attention to the Sudan? We don't know who is who. We can't tell. The Sudanese are fighting the Sudanese. We like, yeah, let y'all figure that out. What are we supposed to do?
Can I explain that in
Clear
brief?
enemy. You can explain it all you want. I'm still ignoring it and closing my eyelids. So please do though. You know, please do. It's good. It's cool. And they still ain't none of my goddamn business.
It's like most of Africa. If you look at Africa from a historical perspective, when the whites or Arabs, depending on which ones you're talking about and when they came, the Arabs came from the north on land. The Europeans usually came to the coast on ships. So the northern parts of most of the countries that only got quantified about 130 years ago during the Berlin Conference, most of those countries, when they became countries, the northern part is mainly Muslim. They mixed with the black people that they conquered and they became one people. So in particular with the Sudan, it's the Janjaweed who are black Arabs. They're black like us, but they've been mixed in with Arabs since probably.
They dark skinned.
Yeah, they're okay, dark skin.
Not like us.
Like me.
They not like us. Go ahead, brother.
Sure ain't like us.
Well, that's what I meant. I meant the appearance.
No, we get it. We get it.
You know, I don't know if you into Fresh and Fit. You know that
Hell
show?
no. Why the hell would I be into them? The way they talk about black women, the way they drag me for film. Why in the hell would I ever pay attention to them? And
what is Fresh and Fit? What is this? What is this?
They are managing a situation with no balls.
Fresh and what?
Fresh and ballless.
I've never heard of such a show. So
must be in ballless.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Look, the purpose of me bringing that show up was to talk about Myron, who's Sudanese. He looks like a regular African American, but he's
we look Sudanese. He don't look like us. And I don't know.
I'm just.
He don't look like us. He just don't. Go ahead.
Okay, he's Sudanese and he's Arab and black. He's not a full black person. That's why he delineated, and that's why everybody's delineating from him now. That's why he got to be with all these freaky guys like Nick Fuentes and Frico and all these guys who are all half-breeds for whatever reason. The point I'm making is not to talk about Myron or Fresh and Fit, is to show you the difference between who's fighting in Sudan right now as the northern Janjaweed, who are black Arabs, and the southern people who are, for the most part, African and Christian. That's all that is. And most of the other, Nigeria, the same thing. It's happening all over Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My point is, you know what we did here? And you know, that was a blessing. We are all put in one boat. And so now we all fight together. We were different tribes. We had, you know, natives, and then we have, you know what I'm saying, the drips and drabs that were brought over here on the slave ships. And we all had to mix together. There was tons of tribes here, of Indian tribes, Native American tribes here. We Wampanoag, we Shinnecock, you know what I'm saying? I could go down the list of all the different tribes. But when it comes to that white tea, we all together. We do what we have to do. And we're all, that's why we call it, somebody said Choctaw, that's another one. We are all FBA at the end of the day. We are all freedmen. And the fact that they can't do that over there, look, and one little thing I want to say, the fact that they can't do that over there, we can't do it with them over here. They can't do it over there, we can't do it with them. And then I just wanted to give just a little gentle pushback about the female the MF, I don't know, I can't think of the acronym.
Female genital mutilation.
Right. So the thing I want to push back on that is, Marcy, when you were saying that it's a patriarchal society, I just want to point out, not near a man grabs a blade and cuts them little girls. It is all women. The women
it's the men. From what I understood, it was the priest of the village. It is the elder, it's the chief. It's not women.
I think it goes both ways, but there are women doing it too. Yeah, there are women doing it, but that's not the thing. Right.
Go ahead.
That's the thing. And so when you got women doing it to women, like that's the thing that I don't like to do. I don't like to put the whole, like, I don't like the whole gender divide thing, because there are horrible people, you know? And like even in here, when people are saying, you know, things about, like, you know, the men and stuff like that, but they forget that Ghislaine Maxwell was a woman. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so and Oprah Winfrey is a woman. She was the one who was ushering people to Harvey Weinstein. So we can't forget now, for whatever reason that these women have become like this, the problem is that they're not standing up for themselves. How do you get your daughter and grab her by the hand? And even if it's the man that do it, how you take your daughter, grab her by the hand, knowing what you've been through, and take her to the priest to let him do that? I'm not going to let up off these mamas, because let me tell you something. My mother and my father would never. My mother would never let it happen, and my father damn sure would never let it happen. So over here, you know, both sides of my family would have fought against that. And I don't understand. And over there, nobody's fighting against it. And 73% is a large number. That is a large number.
Opposed to 93% in other countries?
Malcolm said, if you got a knife in my heart and you pull it out 23%, as opposed
that doesn't mean the knife is not there.
Thank you.
I'm not saying the knife is not there. What I'm saying is, at least they're having there must be a conversation that is happening there, that the numbers are being reduced in that country.
2025.
Their culture has been there for 70,000 years. Their culture has been there for 3,000 years.
Too many excuses. You're giving them too many.
I'm not giving them excuses. I'm just saying that they have been accustomed to something for over 3,000 years or more. And in those 3,000 years, if they're starting to change within 100 years, it's not going to change like that. It's changing. That's why the numbers are being reduced across the continent. I don't believe that it's being reduced enough. I agree. It's not being reduced enough, but something is happening. There is a dialogue happening.
So
hold on. Let me get our brother, the U.S. Freedmen Project president, up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Brother Divine, what's happening, brother? How are you?
On the Brooklyn Bridge.
What's up, my G?
What's going on, Sister Marcia, Brother Black, K Fighter in the house, Sister Brooke, what's going on?
We getting it hot and heavy already. And I know you got some tea to drop. On that pull up.
I can't wait to hear.
But, most definitely we gonna save that for later, because this one is right here. The tea is already piping hot on this topic right here, and we have to go in.
Definitely. So, let me talk about we foundation of Black Americans do not deserve reparations. They're busy over here stealing and scamming left,
Come
right,
on.
and center. Stealing and scamming left, right, and center. Let's look at what's happening in Minnesota.
In December of 2021, the FBI installed a surveillance camera overlooking this building just off Lake Street in Minneapolis. At the time, it was Safari Restaurant, which overall took in $12 million in federal child meal payments through Feeding Our Future. Safari's former co-owner, Salim Saeed, is on trial alongside Amy Bach, the Feeding Our Future executive director. Safari claimed to feed 4,000 to 6,000 kids a day. Its invoices and meal counts shown to the jury alongside the video. An FBI agent testifying that an average of 40 people came and went during the 6 weeks it was surveilled. The FBI set up a total of 12 cameras at sites claiming to serve extraordinary numbers of meals. Another was at a deli in St. Paul, also registered by defendant Salim Saeed, which claimed 1,800 meals per day. The video shown to the jury showed an average of 23 people a day coming and going. The jury was shown dozens of invoices, meal counts, and emails seized from Feeding Our Future's headquarters in St. Anthony. Some showed links to websites that randomly generated names and ages to create rosters of children who were served meals. Many were signed or sent by Amy Bach, who's charged with wire fraud, along with bribery for the alleged kickbacks that she received. Her defense attorney tried to raise doubt when it cross-examined the FBI agent, that they didn't see the back entrance where it's possible meals left packed in trucks for delivery. He pushed back, insisting they'd still see congestion. To that volume, he said, I would say it would not make any sense.
That case became one of the biggest COVID-era frauds in America. And the kicker, Minnesota's own Department of Education had red flags, massive spikes in reimbursement requests, impossible meal counts, and they still rubber stamped the paperwork. Now, this
Ilhan Omar crew, these Somalis always come in these spaces talking real reckless about Black Americans. When your bitch ass is over here stealing. Fraud is so rampant in Minnesota amongst this group. It's at 54%. Either it's Medicaid fraud, you got people who voted in the office stealing, forming fraudulent companies, stealing.
They brothers.
Yeah, the brothers who over there stealing.
No, she talking about marrying her brother. Is that what you talking about, bro?
No. Oh, yeah, marrying her brother. Yeah. You do have some brothers over there who one of them elected to office, both of them are stealing. Brother Divine, your thoughts on this piece? Because these people come over here cosplaying as us to get hold of benefits and tangible access to government, but they only there for themselves. Whether it's legal or illegal, we totally left out the picture. I want you to tell me, brother, why disaggregation is so very important.
Man, yo, that's that. Listen, that's that FBA spirit right there. I was as you was talking, that's the way in which I was going to frame my comment anyway. So, man, that's just great minds thinking alike. Here's what disaggregation is 100% necessary. And this is for everybody, regardless of any ideology. I put that up today as a post. Is lineage over ideology. Which ideology? All of them. And so this is the issue that we're coming into, and this is why it's so prevalent, because for all those slow people in the back that like to frame it however you like to frame it, that's not in any productive ways, all the other groups have already delineated. Like, let's be clear, and I want to make sure I say that again and slower for the slower people in the back. All other groups have delineated, and to be more specific, from us already. And so what starts to happen when we are in these spaces, because of the ideologies, These other groups have been allowed to promote delineation when it makes them look good, and then hide behind blanket blackness when it's something that's going to make them look bad. We are no longer the trash bin for Africa or its diaspora. Those days are dead. And so most people will say, in most of these spaces, when we're talking politically, about how bad a Trump presidency has been, or would have been, or could have been. But we're in it now. And let me tell you one of the major benefits of a Trump presidency. This fraud didn't just start happening. You know who was complicit in helping these groups cover it up? The Democrats. The Democrats. See, here's what I like to say. When we're dealing with the Republicans, they're gonna bury us with good old-fashioned white supremacy. When we're dealing with the Democrats, it's still white supremacy, but now we're dealing with POC supremacy. All these other groups are used as buffers by left-wing white supremacists. So we have to deal with all the other interest groups that, to a certain degree, we don't have to deal with when the Republicans are in power. We just dealing with our old foe, one we know very, very well. It's like a boxing match, and we on the trilogy. But we already know what happened in the first two fights, whether it was one we won or one we lost. So when we get down to the trilogy, we know what it looks like when they're going to throw the hook. We know what it looks like when they're going to bob and weave. And we know exactly what punch to throw and when to knock their punk ass out. But when we get the Democrats in office, it's no longer a fair fight. We getting jumped. And or the fight is rigged. The referee has punched you in the back of your head when you turn around and hit your opponent. This is what delineation does. It lets us know, and I said this before and I'll say it again. I'd rather go into a fight with a known enemy than somebody that I thought was my friend. Because if I'm with that enemy, I know I'm gonna have to knock his ass out, and I'm gonna have to turn around and knock your punk ass out too. If I'm with someone that I thought was a friend, I'm thinking you got my back. And an enemy can do everything to you but betray you. And so this is what we're dealing with. And now delineation is making it very, very clear that one, these other groups are not for us en masse. And two, we are all we got. But here's three, we are all we ever needed. And that's the beauty of this present day environment, with all the things, all the chaos. And I said this one last time, and I'll end here. I said this before too. From the show Game of Thrones, chaos is a ladder. And so with all the unpredictable, wild things that Trump is doing, he's exposing a lot of the status quo that they never wanted exposed. So we have seen how a lot of these governmental funds were the real foundation of the immigrant rags to riches story. Or the $2 or a nickel in my pocket. We've seen, oh, you didn't get that business through hard work. You might work hard in that business, but US Aid gave you the seed money for that. They're paying the bills on that storefront. Oh, this pool of resources for asylum seekers is something that Foundation Black Americans can't even tap into. But it's paying your rent. It's putting your kids in private school. And so through this chaos that would not have happened if we had a Kamala Harris in office, or any other Democrat for that matter, we're figuring out how to climb this ladder by centering our lineage and our family trees. as opposed to any other ideology that we've centered in the past.
You know, Brother Black always said that this Trump presidency is going to bring everybody out. Everything is going to fall out. And we're going to see it exactly what it is. Let's take a look at this clip and we'll come right back and discuss it. Caribbeans express their hatred for Native Black Americans. This is why delineation is a must.
Talk about what foundational Black Americans are. So the term refers to a concept coined by activist and filmmaker Tariq Nasheed. It's used to describe Black individuals in the United States who are descendants of African people enslaved in the U.S. prior to the abolition of slavery in 1865. Here we go.
Let's pause. What about Dr. Claude Anderson?
Thank you.
What is she? This is what I'm talking about.
She never heard of him. She must have never heard of him.
She knows exactly what the hell she's doing.
No, I'm telling you, there's so many times these people haven't heard a lot of names. I be in these spaces and I mention, oh, who's that? Who's that? I don't know who's that. They are indoctrinated through the European educational system. This is where they're radicalized. To hear these names, to hear Dr. Claude Anderson, where would they hear that name?
On the Breakfast Club, just like they've been watching. Hold on, because see, this is what I'm saying. I'm not giving no passes. You walk around, you got enough intellect to come over here and make this commentary. You should be well versed in what the hell you're talking about. But again, like you said in our private chat, the Congressional Black Caucus, we always knew they was bootlegs. We've been fighting these bootlegs. But now the immigrant has come over and joined forces with them against us. So you all gonna catch this hell too. That's what's happening here. I'm not giving nobody no damn passes. There's a reason why we keep mentioning Tariq Nasheed. There's a reason why. And we've discussed it on this platform before. Let me see. I think Brother Mike Black, somebody's mic is open. I got muted. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Let's continue. Hold on. Give me a sec.
I want to start off with you, Shelly.
My never to be humble opinion is that this movement is a way to further segregate and divide Black people, give me a second, and have these FBAs use this one as a good separation technique or a good segregation technique. Now, let me say this. I don't give a damn who you associate with, who you want to be called, or what group. I don't really care. But I think this particular issue is a way for, I'm going to say, maybe more conservatives to use as, oh, I'm separating myself because I am a slave or have ancestors that were slaves.
Pause. You know you done fucked up, right? She said she don't care what we call ourselves. Already disrespectful. Who the hell are you, Tether, to come over here and say some mess like that? You don't care how we identify ourselves? I'm telling you, this is why Alton was writing his act. We have to redefine ourselves. Because these are the goddamn gatekeepers we got to deal with. Now she allowing us with conservatives. Who told you that? Because you have aligned yourself with the Democrats against us. The Democrats from its inception has been against Black Americans. From its inception. And you came and you aligned yourself with it.
Or whatever. I don't care. Ultimately, I am a foundational Black American. I was born here.
Pause. You see how she tried to grandfather clause herself? This is called lineage hijacking. That's what this is called. Go ahead, Sister Brooke. She mad right now. She tight. Go ahead.
But she don't care. I thought she said she didn't care what we call ourselves, but now you want to call yourself what you didn't care about us calling ourselves. Shut the fuck up. I like I said, the time for teaching is over. The time for patience is over. That was the generation before me. Our patience is thin. I have none left. I have no more sympathy. I have no more empathy. I have nothing. You want to cut your women's clits off? Go ahead. Ain't none of my goddamn business. You want to reduce it? Whatever you do, none of my business. But when you bring when you hightail your behind over here and get involved in our politics and think that you could speak for me when that's what's going on for you at home, we have a problem. And see, before, I never said nothing about it. You know why? Because I did not care. It was none of my business. Y'all do what y'all want to do. If that's your 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 8,000, 20,000 euro practice, let it be. But when you brought your behind over here and fix your back on what we doing and who we are, now I'm going to take your history, your present day, and slap you in the face with it. So come on.
It's up. It's up.
You know, a lot of people talk about being separate and all of this other stuff. Well, look, you could do that.
Look up the goddamn word. He's given a false definition. Number one. This is what I'm saying. I'm not giving none of these mother effers no pass. I don't care who you are. You get no pass.
Yeah, find yourself an island in South Pacific and just go be separate. But most people don't even know how to feed themselves without a supermarket. So that's something that would break down very quickly.
Now, these foundational Black Americans, authority, whoever they are, I've never heard of such. And no, you may not claim me in your group, you know, just because I happen to be born an American, right? Born an American with beautifully melanated skin, but American nonetheless, right? We're not going to start dividing ourselves into these little pockets that make it easier for people to take advantage of.
You already taken advantage. You already divided yourself. You waved your flags loud and proud. But you were so used to lineage hijacking, you didn't care. Because like Sister Brooks said generations before, let that slide. On behalf of brotherhood, on behalf of sisterhood. Now look at their babies. Their bastard children are disrespecting us. Why do you have a Jamaican caucus, African caucus, a Haitian caucus, a Latino caucus? My son can apply for scholarships geared toward Black Americans. But your son can apply for those same scholarships, and if he's Jamaican, he got that to apply for too. You see how the game is rigged? But none of these Pan-Africanists think that's a goddamn problem. Because none of you said a goddamn thing before that. None of you. And now that everybody is being called to the carpet, it's a problem. It's been a problem. It's been a problem. Dr. Filet put in the chat a few minutes ago, she'll be glad when Black Americans or Black people start talking about the kidnapping and essays that happen to Black women and Black children here. We do talk about it. There were 3 podcasts specifically geared for that. However, like the videos I played about FGM, they not talking about us over here. They not talking about the trafficking that's happening over here. Our problems are never on their lips. They only concerned with themselves. Show me where Burkina Faso was talking about that. Show me where Jamaica is talking about that. Show me where Ghana is talking about that. Dr. Khaled himself said, and y'all can go back and find the video when Nelson Mandela came here and he was interviewed and asked, you know, what does he think about the problems of the Black Americans? He said, and I quote, "I don't concern myself with that. But you want me to come over there, bring my money, my resources. You out your goddamn mind. That nigga betrayed his own wife. You can't tell me nothing. You a hoe ass and betrayed your own wife. But you, let me continue. Hold on.
Other people.
And let me tell you something. I'm sick of FBAs. Okay.
I'm sick of them too. I'm just sick of people begging all the damn time.
Yeah. You can.
I thought she said she was one.
Oh,
so she's sick of herself. That's what I thought. See, that's what I'm saying. Both sides of your goddamn neck.
I knew Brooke was gonna get her. I knew it.
But this is the BS that goes on. Meanwhile, when the Hurricane Melissa just happened, your asses was begging. Your asses was begging. Every goddamn cycle, we give that country aid, amongst others. You have a Caribbean caucus in the New York City Council. We are excluded.
Fighting us on reparations, let me add.
That's what she's talking about us pleading our case on a debt that is owed, that they agreed they owe. They agreed they owe it.
So is CARICOM begging?
Come on. Come on.
You know who I did see begging? You know who I see begging, going on a tour reminiscent of Eric Adams? You know who I saw? The Prime Minister of Jamaica. Oh, he got his knee pads on. He getting on his knees for the Chinese. He getting on his knees for England, for the king. Because, you know, it ain't independent, but the king is on their money. He on his knees for the king. And where else was he on his knees? Oh, at that wall, that Israel wall. There on his knees in Israel. And I just got one question. Do bad men bow? Because I hear so many things about what bad men don't do. You know, bad men don't do this and bad men don't do that. And that. Do bad men bow to white men? Because he was over there bowing to the king.
He probably was listening to Dembo.
Maybe. And then after that, he probably listened to Demo Bleach.
Actually walk down Baltimore and step in human feces. And it's generally from an FBA. Okay. So first, let's talk about what foundational Black Americans are. So the term refers to a concept coined by activists and
just total disrespect.
But she's one. But she said she is one.
Right.
I just want to keep pointing that out.
Right.
She's talking about it. She's othering herself from something that she said she was.
Right.
Can I go in a little bit?
Go ahead. Give it to him.
So, and this is, hold on. See, my issue with this, amongst other things, and you guys touched on it, and it came out during the back and forth when I was first coming on to the live stream. there is a level of coddling and infantilization that is built into the foundation of Pan-Africanism. So even when you are a Pan-African with good intentions, it's like somebody being a good cop. You are still bound by the rules of the system that you are promoting. Going back to the Matrix, if you have not been unplugged, you are a potential agent. And you will fight to protect the system, even when you are not aware. And so Pan-Africanism, like I said, it operates like sleeper cells. And the foundational Black American Pan-Africans are the ones that provide this type of disrespect, the cover that it needs or that it needed to fester and become what it is right now. Because there will be all kinds of excuses made for this flat out disrespect. But God forbid we push back like we're doing now. God forbid we address it. God forbid we just say, you know what, you're not going to disrespect us like that no more. Then it becomes, oh, y'all are xenophobic and you don't want unity. See, I said this on a previous episode of this podcast as well. Y'all know I love moving these, and we brought up A Time to Kill. And I brought up Samuel Jackson, but I also brought up Matthew Broderick. And when he asked them to close their eyes,
okay,
and imagine if they were white. If the little girl that got accosted and raped and assaulted was white. Here's what I want to say, because this is what we're seeing in real time, and that's why it's up and it's stuck, and it really don't matter what nobody say. Because I've had many arguments with white folks, not in this movement because I can't even get to them yet, but in my life. Here's what I found. When you make a racist white person mad enough, the N-word is coming out. It's automatic. Matter of fact, they have been waiting to say it the whole conversation. But when you make a non-racist white person mad, the N-word will never come. Because it's not in them. It wasn't in their vocabulary. It wasn't even on that type of time. Now close your eyes and imagine that they were white. When we talk to anti-Black members of the diaspora, we don't even got to get them mad enough. We do something they don't like. The anti-Black slurs, the anti-Black tropes, they are coming out automatically. They have been waiting to say it the entire time. You know what the riders of the diaspora don't do when they get mad? Trafficking anti-Black tropes. I've almost come to fisticuffs with the Caribbean people that I know, and they ain't never say, what about Black on Black crime? They ain't never said, oh, that's why your women are baby mamas. They ain't never said, y'all commit all the crime. But these motherfucking tethers, that's the first thing off their lips. Because they don't like our ass anyway. And when you're looking for an excuse, anyone will do. And that's what we're seeing from the diaspora. They've been waiting to say this shit. It's been hurting them to hold it in. Close your eyes. Imagine they were white. We would know exactly how to deal with them. We would know exactly how to categorize them. You know why there's even an ounce of confusion amongst our people? Because the Pan-African sleeper cells told us that those are our brothers and our sisters. When from the beginning, through every action that they've ever taken, they are just like their white paymasters. And we got to start dealing with them and moving with them as such. when their actions have dictated and showed us who they really are.
Let's play this clip and we'll come right back. Woo, it's tight.
A demon. So some of us don't have girlfriends. Some of us end up having rape cases. You know, some of us end up.
So what? You rape girls?
Some of us, yeah, some of us.
Do you know how many times you've done that? How many times have you raped girls?
I did it maybe 2 or 3 times.
I did it.
Pause. Pause. These the mother effers that's fleeing here too. But them folks is quiet about this. Yes, it's quiet like a church mouse.
It once.
I did it 4 times.
I did it once.
Yeah, because a lot of times I was with him. Yeah, he's a friend. You know, I'm with him all the time. You know.
How do you go about doing it? A bunch of you push her into a corner, or
no? So we do it much simpler. You know, one of us pretends as if he's a nice guy. He wants to get her number or something, and you would grab her and say, "Hey, shut up."
Surely she shouts, no?
No, we tell him that.
We make sure that she doesn't.
When you scream, we tell him that when you scream, we're gonna kill you.
Yeah, and she sees you with a knife or something, anything that is a weapon, she will stay still. She will never scream. He grabs the legs, both of the legs. I grab the hands, and then he deals with the clothes, Yeah, and then we go one by one.
They from South Africa, just to be clear. You don't know who these moped riding mother effers are. But I seen some of y'all out there protesting for them. You're a traitor. You're a disgrace. You want to harbor criminals. Now, to go back, Dr. Fillet talked about, what are people doing beyond conversations? Well, if Brother Tad was here, he'll tell you how we chase pedos out of here. For real, for real. For real, for real. Where was the Caribbean community for that? That has to come out of your group. For real, for real. You got brothers out in Detroit and other places who are tracking down these pedos and these traffickers. They're on social media sites. They post that up. They post some videos. I think I showed a few weeks ago. There are folks out there doing it. You just got to be in the right places to know. I always say technology is light years. They already on it. Not just in the US, but in the UK as well. They on it.
Call it jack rolling, Yeah, exactly. Because you kind of jack her, and then you roll her, Yeah, it's jack rolling. You jack her and then you put her on the floor. We would say, guys, come on, let's do this fast, guys. Yeah, you enjoying it, huh? And we would beat our hands, high five. What's it? Yeah, we're doing it. Let's do this. Yeah, kind of like we're happy for a moment, but after we're done doing that, okay, we're done, guys, let's go.
Some of them, they're not screaming. It's like they wanted to be raped, you see. She also grabs you, you see, no.
Where them podcasters at talking about this? She wanted it. And these bastards are all around driving DoorDash, Uber Eats, and wherever the hell y'all order from. I don't order from none of that shit. I'll go pick it up myself. Don't bring me nothing. Mopeds lined all up and down the streets in Brooklyn, Midtown Manhattan. Who the F are these people? And I've seen some of y'all protesting for them. You post videos like you proud of that shit. This is what's happening.
It's like she's enjoying it, you know, even though she isn't, but it's like she's enjoying it.
Do you think it's right? Do you think it's right to rape?
Yeah, it's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong.
What about the consequences of what you're doing in terms of how that affects the person that's raped?
Yeah, the consequences, we look at that all the time, you know, because it happens. She might scream, you know, people might wake up. A lot of people.
I'm not just talking about. I'm talking about the emotional effect, the physical effect it has on the girl.
Yeah. Sometimes we know that we might rape her and wake up tomorrow with viruses ourselves, like HIV, you know.
What about regretting what you've done to the girl?
Pause. Everyone to spread disease. Guys, Sister Brooke.
I had to send you this when you. How many times does the white man have to keep asking that question? No. How do you feel about what you're doing to the woman? No thought. They just keep glazing it over, talking about their own consequences. Oh, when we rape somebody, we could get a disease. You're not worried about how she feels, the threat that you're creating in our community. The fact that you're making us unsafe. This year, we had the most children go missing. No one's talking about that. Where is the mother diaspora for that? We have children going missing like water. And we got these people admitting on camera. Where are the police? The police are allowing them. We already seen what they did in Times Square. The police are allowing this to happen. And you want us to not say nothing about it? And do they care about us? Do they care about the community? Do they care about the women that they're doing this to? No, they do not. They are only concerned for themselves. And I have to ask the question to the elders. What about this? You want me to kumbaya with that? No, sir. No, ma'am. I will not. And if you do, you're crazy. You send your daughter to go kumbaya with that. Because I'm good. And again, when President Devine was just sitting there talking about close your eyes and imagine they're white, look right here. The white man is like disgusted, trying to keep his cool because he wants to get this interview, okay? But he's like, what about the women? What about the women? Look, he's asked that question 3 times already. And they just keep like, who, what, women, who cares? We don't have girlfriends. We don't have wives. This is what we have to do. I saw another video where the man said that this is what he has to do, that he's a man and he needs this to survive.
But they want you to repatriate to these places. Go ahead and take your dumb asses there and your children. Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't come back crying. Don't come back crying. You know, I know many of Pan-African groups. How come y'all don't talk about this? Where your ass is at? You looking for some fake ass utopia? Brother Ray said, Brooklyn Fulton Street looked like Bombay. And them some nasty bastards too. Drinking cow piss and all kind of stuff. They pedos too. You know, but you know, at the same time, hold on, let me continue.
I also do regret about it because if she fell pregnant, what will be that baby's father? Who will be that baby's father?
But what about her personal feelings?
It's simple, you know. It's kind of like a demon. So some of us don't have girlfriends. Some of us end up having rape cases. You know, some of us end up.
So what? You rape girls?
He said it's kind of like a demon. Kind of like, nigga, you are. But they'll talk about black men in America. You got to hear them on these spaces. The blatant disrespect. You see, when it's something bad, they all black. It's something good, you pumping out your flag. I ain't them. I'm separate. Fuck out of here. Are you crazy? No. But this is what we got to deal with. This is why delineation is important. At the same time, they constantly asking us to come over and invest.
Why is this?
Hold on, sis, can you pause that for a second?
Best time for.
Yeah, I just didn't want I didn't want to let that last video pass. I just want to say shout out to y'all as women. I don't know how y'all made it through the video. And I have tons of nieces. And I just want to be careful what I say. Growing up, we put dudes down for less. I'm just going to keep it a buck. You could have done less than what they talked about doing. And there was consequences, dire consequences for your actions. And I'll leave it there. First, I want to give a PSA to all tethers coming from whatever fucking country you got, and I don't give a shit how long or how many thousands of years your rape culture has been alive and well. If you come into this country touching foundational Black American women, that will be the last thing you touch. See, because we have a culture of being the big brothers for little sisters. We have a foundational Black American culture of I'm going to get my brother. I'm going to get my uncle. Despite popular belief, I'm going to get my father. And if you've never had a foundational Black American man get called on you, for you, let me tell you, it ain't nothing like anything you've ever experienced out of the fucking village or mud hut or whatever neighborhood you came from in your homeland. You ain't seen a demon. You think you the demon. Let me tell you something. You ain't seen a demon when you've touched and disrespected a foundational Black American woman that is tied to a foundational Black American man. And I want that to be fucking clear, because these Pan-Africans are complicit. Y'all know this shit goes on. And then y'all try to bully us into uniting with this bullshit and try to guilt trip us and come up with excuses on why the shit still happens. Again, we would never accept, oh, well, it was just, that's the white people of that day. You got to understand how commonplace slavery was. That was just their culture. How long had they been enslaving people? We got to understand. Fuck all that. I don't care how backwards your fucking nation or your community or your shanty town is. You better get with the times, or I'm telling you, these foundational Black American times are going to get with you. I just want that to be very clear. It ain't a threat. It ain't a promise. I'm preparing you. Because this is going to happen whether you like it or not. Man, let me tell you something. I'm all for, and I pray, because let me just say this. Y'all don't got to worry about me fighting for reparations. And it's not even about these motherfucking tethers. This is anybody. But we see they coming over here with a culture of it. I can't talk about nobody else's family. But for me and mine, I ain't got to worry about me fighting for reparations if any one of these motherfucking so-called demons do something to anybody in my family. The fight is going to look very different. And I wish a motherfucking Pan-African would come say anything to me. See, we done. We not sacrificing foundational Black American autonomy or safety for this bitch-ass, fake-ass unity. Those days is over. Y'all gotta get your identity crisis in order. See, your identity is built on this faulty, fake idea that everybody with melanin from the continent is family and we just gotta unite because that's the only way to beat the white man. Y'all ain't see the wins we racked up on this city, on this land? Long before anybody came over here from the diaspora to check on us after selling us? Man, y'all better check the record. Y'all better look at the motherfucking standings. We ain't win the chip yet, but we the winningest team in the diaspora. We don't need you. You need us. So you better get your ass in line real fast, because all this shit that y'all doing and trying to pass off as culture and Pan-Africans covering for this shit and making excuses. The continent can't be all powerful and a bunch of infants at the same time. If it's all powerful and it's got the power to save and liberate all Black people everywhere, I need y'all to get that shit in line on the continent. Put that power in place and get those FGM numbers down to 50%. Are we fucking kidding? Are we fucking kidding? And you got rape squads roaming your country? And Brother Black didn't come back, but I want to say this for the record. Myron Gaines, aka Amaru Fuddle, is not an African American. Don't look like no motherfucking African American. That is a bitch ass tether. He is an Arab. But you know what he is? And this is where we got to understand, we got to draw the line. What Myron Gaines is, though, what Amaru Fuddle is, though, is an African. Let's stop playing this fucking game. Here and now. An African is a native or an inhabitant of the continent of Africa. Those Arabs are African. Those Asians that are currently colonizing countries throughout Africa are African. Mamdani's East African family in Uganda and all the other East Africans that was in Uganda are African. Elon Musk and them other white boers are African. African does not mean Black. Period. So y'all can keep playing with this fantasy and this theory and this religion if y'all want. There are real life consequences that we are no longer playing to. We playing past. And if that's the side you choose, then we're gonna have to play past you too. And I'll land there. I wish let me say that last. Now I'm done. I wish a tether would, or anybody else for that matter, because it ain't even about them. But they are putting up white supremacist sexual assault numbers. What we talking about?
And you know, I say this all the time. You know, when I say they my family, they my family. Y'all see these men in the chat? What Cuzzo said? Put you in a goddamn box. Just for talking crazy to me. That's why I move the way I move out here. It'll be up for you. Your mother better get that black dress. Oh, she got some life insurance because it's up. It's up. But I don't see none of these groups ever discussing such. You want this kumbaya, as Brother Devon says. You're looking for this kumbaya moment. Nobody talking about, as Sister Brooks said, the numbers is up with missing children. Ever since the border got open, it's been up. Go ahead, sis, I can't hear you. Go ahead.
I said, yeah, and it's our kids. It's little Black children that are going missing. Like, this is crazy. What the fuck are we talking about? You, like I said, yo, I don't care. You and I just wanted to add on to it, and I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna add on to what our President Devine said when he said that you can't be you can't be an infant. And what did you say? God, I lost it just that quick. Help me out, Devine.
No, I'm just saying they say the motherland is all powerful, so you can't be all powerful and infants at the same time.
And you can't be the oldest culture on the planet and an infant at the same time either. How are you the mothers and fathers of the planet? Right? Right? The civilization started there, right? How we more evolved than you? Help me out. So I don't care how long it's been going on. You ain't figured it out yet? Then stay your ass over there. Don't bring that shit over here. Don't bring that shit over here because, first of all, especially in New York, our women fight until the men could come. It won't be no easy win over here.
It will not be easy over here. Not with me, it won't. Not with me, it won't. But they are dumping them in our neighborhood. Listen to this news clip, and we'll come right back.
We are learning an NYPD officer is facing rape charges. 27-year-old Indegnior Kapan was arrested at around 8:30 last night while off duty. Police sources tell us they were initially called to the scene for an assault. When they got there, they found the victim, a 15-year-old, was in an intimate relationship with the officer. Kapan is also facing assault and endangering the welfare of a child charges.
Roll call. Hey, yo, NYPD. Modified duty? Really? A cop who's supposed to protect the children. Great one. And he still got a job with the NYPD? And then y'all wonder why the community don't respect law enforcement. Can we please get internal affairs or maybe some high ups to please take a look into this?
Again, interjecting themselves into government and law enforcement.
Can I add something?
Where's the African communities at? They don't say nothing. Them bastards don't even speak to you. Go to Little Synagogue and walk the streets. They don't even freaking speak to you. They don't even look you in your face. And don't tell me it's because of their religion. You know, I'm being real tight with my tongue because I could go in on your goddamn loser religion. But they have protection. It's been hands off with these illegals and legal ones. Beating the police up in the street, anything. Them bastards don't pull out a taser or nothing. But they call us animals in these spaces. They call us animals. This is how they get down. And got the nerve to show up at reparations hearings and try to interject themselves into it. I hope you catch it straight. I really do. I hope you catch it. Trying to reclassify us again. Talk about you went to the UN on behalf of your religion or your religious leader to reclassify us. Then get your ass in the street and protect the streets. Because if I say something about your religious leader, you're ready to come for me. But when the white tea man do it, you keep your mouth closed. You a sucker. Don't come trying to reclassify me. This is what's happening. So if you on call with us, if you rocking with us like that, where you at? Why you don't pull up? Every African group, Caribbean group, Caribbean caucus, Pan-African group, where your busloads at advocating for us? It don't exist. So that's why I hope all of you catch all the hell you can get. You see? I know where my fourth great grandmother was, where her children were enslaved at. You don't even know your name. That's why you don't care about our lineage. But you want to grandfather onto it when it's convenient. Brother Divine, I know you got some tea for us. Let us know what happened yesterday.
Yeah. Oh man. So yesterday at the Brooklyn level, sorry. Think about it. It was in Brooklyn, but at the city level, there is a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, as well as a Reparations Remedies Commission being convened, right? Well, yeah, we're going to be convened. Right now, they are putting out the reports. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be a commission or a task force like it is at the state level, but currently, the organization of CORE, that was something that was set up. I believe it was either a holdover of the de Blasio administration or something that was implemented by Eric Adams' administration. But either way, they are the ones that in 2020 had a charter added to the city constitution to have racial justice inserted into the constitution. Those charters passed by way of a vote. I think they needed more than 60% of the city voting for it in that 2020 election. They did. And so now racial justice is a mandate in the city constitution. And so obviously we know when we talk about racial justice is not reparations. And so racial justice just means justice for anybody, right? Mostly it's something that's pursued, for people that they deem or categorize as non-white politically and socially. But we also know for some exotic reason that racial justice also covers sexual preference. It also covers those with disabilities, a number of different things that have nothing to do with race, right? But they group it under racial justice. So I just want to give that background. So at the city council level, the U.S. Freeman Project was requested to come in and give expert testimony based on our work at the state level to inform and to educate on how to get reparations right constitutionally. We gave that testimony at City Hall, and based on that testimony, well, let me not say it like that, but after listening to our testimony and testimony of others, instead of having racial justice and reparations in one commission like it is at the state level, and that's what we're fighting against, at least at the city level, they have separated it out where it's a separate commission for racial justice as it is for reparations. Now, we still don't know if the reparations is lineage based, because I know they took the term African American out after we told them what the definition of it is, but they have not released the language and the parameters under which. Well, you know what? Let me not say that. They did release a report, so in the report it might have that. I'm not sure if they put that in the initial report, but that's what I went to yesterday. There was a celebration, if you will, of publishing the first report. Hold on a second. Somebody said my sound changed. Hold on. Let me see. I know they've been playing with my internet. Is that better or the same? Is my sound okay?
You good to go.
Good. So yeah, so I went to it, I went and attended. And man, when I say it was a who's who of not activists, Actorvis, and Democrat Shields. Man, it was a who's who. Only person that wasn't in there I expected to see was Al Sharpton. That's how many other people from the other orgs, Pan-African and quote-unquote legacy there were in there. So the report is now online. Oh man, I wish I had that link at the ready. I'm so sorry, guys, but I will get that to Sister Keisha afterwards, and maybe she could put it in the description or something like that afterwards. For the report, so everybody can see, because this is something that we need to break down and we need to analyze for ourselves to see what they're looking to do, what type of work they're going to be doing at the city level, how it affects us, and the ways in which we need to, because I'm almost certain that we will have to. Let me not say almost, I'm certain we will have to hold them accountable to get it right, because all of the same stakeholders at the state level are involved at the city level, even though it's two separate commissions. So we already know when they're involved, it's going to be something that is not to our benefit unless we make it. Two of the individuals that came in as the night went on, Tamika Mallory and my son, they came in. They have nothing to do with reparations. Haven't been around reparations. Haven't said reparations one time at all. In fact, Tamika Mallory is on the record stating that sexism is worse than racism. So these are the people that we're, like I said, that we're talking about that are involved, that we are going to have to guard against. These are the people that they're priming, you understand what I'm saying, to be associated with this thing, so that they can provide them cover for a lot of things that they're looking to do. Another individual that was involved in the night, that he was actually at the Brooklyn hearing, so we saw and got a chance to hear him there as well. Public advocate Jumaane Williams. He is on record now more than, I think, 3 times I've been in his presence, and he said the same thing, because one of them was he was at the hearing, he was at this event last night, and he was also at, and I think Sister Brooke was there at that time too. It was an event at this given through the Brooklyn Public Library, downtown Brooklyn. Yeah, so it was
there. Yeah,
yes.
Keisha was with me.
Oh, right, okay, and Sister Keisha was there as well. Great. So he was there, and so what we are starting to see, and this is something that we have to guard against, family, and it's in line with this whole show, actually, so this is working out perfectly. Jumaane Williams, I'm not exactly sure what nation or island his family hails from. Sister Keisha might know that off the top, but he is Afro-Caribbean. He has made it his business at all of these hearings to lightly, because he's treading lightly, but lightly denigrate those of us who are saying reparations needs to be for those that were formerly enslaved and emancipated in the U.S. He's on the record pulling the same bullshit. I've already said enough curses, so I don't know why I'm trying to censor now. He's on the record doing the same bullshit talking point that they did at the state level when they passed this unconstitutional bill at the state level. He's saying, hey, let the commission do its work, and after it does its work, then we can decide who gets what. But it doesn't make any sense to try to figure that out before any work has been done, any policy has been written, or any checks have been addressed. I want the family to know that is literally a part of the Pan-African textbook. And I'm not just saying that because I know how I feel about Pan-African, especially ones that are off code. But this is something that comes from the top with Dr. Ron Daniels, the Cam Howards of the world. Narcan and Cobra, I think, is even a part of their 10-point plan. The bottom line is that is one of their talking points, because they understand that they have never been, and it's even less today, they've never been the majority of our foundational Black American community. They have always been a subset of the major body at large. And their influence is shrinking. So what they're attempting to do is to circumvent that reality and say, hey, listen, don't push for what you are supposed to push for. Push for what we want you to push for, and trust us on the back end. See, because here's what they know. They don't have the numbers to be the majority and have the influence for our community, but they know that they are still the gatekeepers. They know that they are still in charge and will be installed by the Democrat establishment to watch over any progress or lack thereof for our community. So they understand if we wait till the back end is where they're at. See, we're on the front end. And the more we push on the front end, we make the back end irrelevant. They want the back end to be the most relevant because they know that that's where they'll be. And so that's what we got to push back against. And Jumaane Williams is on record again, stating, hey, don't do that. Let's wait. And in Brooklyn, at the state level reparations hearing, he was on record. He actually was saying, he said FBA. He said ADOS by name at that, at the church in Brooklyn. So so we understand what he's saying. We understand what the play is. We understand what's happening. And so throughout the night, it was almost like an ode to the Pan-Africans of old, right? And so one by one, I know they have Reverend Doherty, I think his name is, Daltrey. Reverend Daltrey. To his credit, I will give him credit. That brother is in his 90s, and he's still spry. He's still got energy. I love to see, regardless of whether our differences are, I love to see the elders doing well, having all their faculties. You know what I'm saying? And he's still fighting. See, and here's the issue. And this is the biggest takeaway. There's some other conversations that happened that are real sensitive. We can have those conversations offline. But I want to say this, especially when they talk about the elders like Reverend Daltrey and others that were in the room, because I want to make sure my position is clear. Though I went on my tirade, I don't have any issues personally with Pan-Africans, right? For the most part, I know a lot of them are trying to do the right thing, and this is what they feel is right. They believe that this is the way in which we get liberation for our people. So I have no issue with that. The issue that I have is that under further review, we see that the religion, the theory, the ideology of Pan-Africanism has some things in it that are unredeemable, that don't serve our community. And so there needs to be, in its current form, there needs to be some level of adjustments that have to be made. Like I said in my testimony at the last meeting, Queen Mother Audley Moore, a staunch reparationist, was also a staunch Pan-Africanist. But she had two organizations. I can't remember though. I think it's like an Ethiopian Federation of Women. I can't remember that particular name for that organization. But the bottom line is that she had an organization dedicated to advocating for the diaspora abroad and as they came into the country. And she had another organization specifically fighting for reparations for slavery descendants in the U.S. She printed up a booklet and a pamphlet that you can find online. And so the history of Pan-Africans, those that I call the real Pan-Africans, that current Pan-Africans always invoke, they understood and kept those claims separate. They knew that the diaspora needed advocacy, especially at that time. And they knew that the descendants of those that were enslaved in the U.S. needed advocacy separate and distinct from that at the same time. It's only when Dr. Ron Daniels and Narcan and Cobra join the fray that you see this conflation of let's just make everybody black. Let's just make everybody African in there, and not even everybody. That's the overall thought process. But when you under further review, you see that part of the ideology is only pushed on foundational Black Americans. Because they allow Jamaicans to be Jamaicans. They allow Haitians to be Haitians. They allow Nigerians to be Nigerian. The only people that are not allowed to be who we are is us. And then it just so happens that it's the us that are fighting for reparations that they conflate everybody else into to try to get a piece. That is a problem. And so all night long, you had Pan-African after Pan-African after Pan-African come up. And one of those Pan-Africans was Lurie Daniel Favors Esquire, one of our favorites. Because she is instrumental. What I didn't know until last night is that she was a part of the Racial Justice Commission implemented by the mayor's office, and she was instrumental in helping getting this Racial Justice Commission and panel, started. So here is the question that I had for her, because we actually did have a conversation, is why are you conflating racial justice and reparations if you clearly understand the difference? Because one of the things that she said that I will say here is that she said, hey, I wanted to approach you because I see that you're committed, you everywhere. So she didn't expect me to be here, right? So when she saw me, she was like, oh, shoot, I think I'm gonna have to say something to her. So she said, I want you to know that I'm not your enemy. And I said, I agree, but you're a lawyer. So you're the enemy of constitutional law. And we are on the same side as constitutional law. So when you are against that, you are our enemy. But the minute you stop being against constitutional law, you're right. You're no longer an enemy, and we possibly could get some things accomplished together. But currently, your current position is on the wrong side of history. So what side do you want to be on? And so one of the things that did happen that I did not expect, again, because it was a Pan-African Jubilee, is that the brother, who's also a Pan-African, he's actually, I forgot what his Tariq Washington is the brother's name. Tariq Washington. And his dad was rocking with Reverend Daltrey in back in the day when they ran, I think when they said they ran Ed Koch down in real life. Since you probably know all about that. And he, in that process, he recognized me from the meeting that happened in Brooklyn. And I believe this is what motivated Lurie Daniel Favors Esquire to come approach me, is because after all those Pan-Africans got up, he then said, I also got to recognize my brother Divine of the U.S. Freedmen Project, who is out here in these streets doing great work, fighting for reparations for foundation, for not he didn't say foundation Black rights, he said for Black people. He said, but based on lineage. And when I stood up, that's when she was like, oh shit, my boy, this is my boy, how he know him, kind of thing. And so because of that, I believe that's what invoked her. Because at the hearings, as you guys well know, I have no issue speaking truth to power to anybody, but I specifically focus on Dr. Ron Daniels and Lurie Daniel Favors because of the position that they're taking due to their ideology of Pan-Africanism. And so at none of the hearings has she ever approached me to talk to me or say anything to me afterwards. I always talk with every other commissioner besides her, Dr. Ron Daniels. Not because I'm afraid to confront them, but because they don't confront me. They go to the other side when I'm talking to all the other commissioners. But last night, she decided to come my way. So I wanted to make sure I had something of substance to say. Because I think this is important. Again, we are not your enemy. You are making enemies of us because of the stance that you take, which is directly against our remedial justice claim. You change that stance, you change your position. And I can't speak for everybody. I'll just speak for me personally. I've said this before and I'll say it again. We are foundational Black American. We have a legacy of speaking truth to power. Historically, that face of power has been white, and usually a white supremacist. Times have changed, especially when we're talking about dealing with left-wing white supremacy. So I say it like this. I will continue that legacy of speaking truth to power, regardless of whatever language I got to translate it into, or if that face has melanin. And so if you are a melanated face and you are defending the power of the establishment against opposition, then yes, you are my opposition and you are my enemy. But you can change that unless that is truly who you are And that is what you have been sent to do. And I'll land there.
Yeah, on the back channel, I'll talk to y'all about my feelings about Reverend Daughtry. And yes, Tamika Mallory and my son, her brother, their parents, founder members of the National Action Network.
Oh.
And financiers. I'm going to leave that to you for a minute. But I wanted to share this because my sister BX, the gatekeeper, sent me this, and I'm going to read it after we log off. She is a real journalist, okay? One size does not fit all, debunking the concept of flat blackness. I put it in the private chat for y'all too, but it's in the main chat so y'all can read it at your own leisure, right? Shout out to the people over there on Twitch. I'll be leaving y'all out. I'm sorry about that. No hate, no hate, no hate. Love y'all, love y'all. But also, I put in the chat, we got to keep sending these emails out. We got to keep sending these emails out. If you really rocking with us, send these emails out. You know, y'all was rocking with Umar for a minute. You know, y'all was rocking with these fake activists out here for a minute. So, you know, Brother Devon, the next time we meet up, make sure you mention that so I can give the real story. Because I'm not with the shits. I don't give a damn how old he is. Because I'm fighting for my ancestors whose story I know. Not what I think, not some mythical BS, but what I know on both sides of my family. And a lot of these folks who come over here, like Jamani Williams, who was grenading, I believe that's what he said at the last hearing. Grandfather his way into New York politics under the Democratic Party, the party that financed kidnapping clubs to take free Black people. Now connect the dots. New York welcomed criminals. You could call them illegals if you want, but they're criminals by law. And the numbers of missing and exploited children have gone up. They still a part of kidnapping clubs, if you ask me. Nothing has changed. So when you folks come in and you align yourself with the party, you're a goddamn traitor. And I'm not just saying this online. I'm outside. You see me, I'll tell you in your freaking face what you are. And if you want to get nifty, we can get nifty. It's on you. But my hands is fire. You see? Brother Devon was kind to y'all. You know, Sister Brooke always say this, we made for fighting. Remember the Thriller in Manila? With Muhammad Ali? This is the Thriller in America. With FBA. And we on your ass. We on your ass. Because when you came here, your first thought should have been align yourself. If we all Black, should have aligned yourself with us. And what we want, not what you want. Because if you were smart, if you were intelligent, you had ticking brain cells. When we win, everybody win. We win, everybody win. If you don't believe me, let's listen to this clip. You see, we used to fighting. We got our freedom because we took it. Nobody gave us a passport, a visa, a green card, and naturalized citizenship. We took it.
Myth is that Lincoln freed the slaves, but Lincoln says in 1860 and 1861, it is a lie and a slander that we have any intention to abolish slavery in the slave colonies of the South, in the slave states of the South. This is just a lie, he says. So why does it happen? Well, it happens because, as W.E.B. Du Bois puts it in his great book, Black Reconstruction from 1935, the slaves took matters into their own hands. 500,000 of them fled from the South, withdrew their labor from the Confederacy, found their way to Union lines. And Lincoln's generals are going, what do we do with these people? What's our policy? And initially the policy was return them to their masters. But they refused to go back. They came in such numbers that this wasn't viable. And a few of the more radical Republican generals said, I'm not returning them. They were defying Lincoln, but they were defying Lincoln because enslaved people were forcing the issue. And ultimately, 200,000 of these self-emancipated Black men find their way into the Union Army and Navy. Women serve as cooks and as spies. We often forget that the great Harriet Tubman, who had led a series of raids to free family members and then to free non-kin fugitives, was the most accomplished spy for the Union Army. Lincoln eventually provided a pass which said, Harriet Tubman can go wherever she wants, because the point is, she could provide intelligence to the Union Army that no one else could provide. So this was a movement of self-emancipation. Enslaved people forced emancipation on the Union, on President Lincoln, through their own militancy, their resistance, and their mass flight from the South. So yes, history starts to look very different. And once again, we see the withdrawal of the labor of 500,000 people, both crippled the Confederacy. That's a huge withdrawal of labor power, 500,000 people, and it was adding labor power to the Union military forces. And this is a reminder of where social power lies in our society.
And who are the agents of history?
So
the
you never
myth
forget.
is that Lincoln freed the
So
slaves.
you never forget. You couldn't bring your sorry asses over here if we didn't make it happen. We fought in every war. I live in Brooklyn. I grew up in Fort Greene. My great-grandmother lived in Fort Greene. Fort Greene Park. There is a monument with the bodies of soldiers who was in there. To this very day, their remains lie there. We've been about this life. You not. That's why you hang on to one moment in time. If you talk to the Jamaicans, they can tell you about Granny Nanny. Even though some of them suckers betrayed their own. They don't tell that part of the story, though. You hold on one moment in time. One war. One victory. From the inception of this nation, we've been fighting. And we still fight. And just like we was on their ass, we on your ass right now. So, my brother and my sister, they may give y'all a little leeway. Sister Marcia, and she got a little sympathy for y'all. I ain't got no damn sympathy. Because my ancestors fought in that Civil War you talking about. I'm not talking about it. I can prove it with documentation given to me and my family by the African American Civil War Museum. I don't have to stand on nobody else's shoulders. I know what I'm fighting for. I know what they were promised. reparations. You see, if you ask a lot of these immigrants, which third, fourth, fifth great grandmama name, they can't tell you. They can't tell you. Because your countries didn't even exist. You don't know where the hell she came from. A lot of people who call themselves Jamaican came from Cuba. They don't tell that part. You know, you got Dominicans, me no black, papi. But Haiti fed your ass. You see? Africa right now, no country want Nigerians in it. None of them. You are the number one scammer and thief on the planet. Nobody wants you around. So the time for niceties is over. It's up. It's up. And that's why every week I have my brother and sister up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Because they fighting out here for real. And all you old heads need to fall the hell back. Because you fumbled the ball. Brother Devon says, you know, they had great intentions. Okay. I have great intentions to stick by a strict diet. We all got great intentions. But great intentions don't get you to victory. It don't get you to victory. You see, the UNIA is still existing today. Where you mother effers at? Telling people from the Caribbean to shut their goddamn mouth up when it comes to our reparations. You be quiet, don't you? See? No, I ain't got no empathy for you. Not in 2025. If you got the courage and the balls to get on social media and talk about we don't have no culture, we don't know who we are, you know, you don't give a damn about our lineage, F you and your mama. F you and your mother with her whole ass. You know, your busted ass daddy, who you don't even know. And don't just think it's Africa, you know, selling off their children, prostituting their children. The Caribbean do it too. Excuse me. Jamaica, I seen it with my own eyes. Remember that movie? What's that movie? Dancehall Queen. She sold off my daughter for a fucking KFC. It's real talk. See, go to the airport. Thanks to airport, Montego Bay. Watch the mother efforts pull up with dirty flip-flops, waiting for their folks to come. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Like Brooke said, either you on our path or get the hell out of our way. Get the hell out of our way. So, with that, family, I yield. Sister Brooke, your final thoughts and commentary. Let's get the people up out of here.
You know, at the end, I like to just, run over the different things that I didn't get a chance to say. And I wanted to go back to that video with the people that were talking. She said she was FBA, but she not FBA, but blah, 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 blah. She was going back and forth. The guy said, why don't you do that in the island of Pacific? Don't you have an island? Why didn't you do it? Ain't you independent? Even though the king is on your money, ain't you independent? Why you ain't do it? And you see, you said something about the wars that they keep bringing up. I had an epiphany right before the hurricane hit Jamaica. That epiphany was, and before I get to that, let me tell you where, because I've heard over and over and over again ad nauseum that slavery did not happen as long as it did here in the United States in the Caribbean. And I heard this, I'm telling you what your friends and family tell me to my face. And they also say that it is because they fought and that they had revolts that caused the white man to leave. And here's my epiphany. They left because your weather is unstable. Every 5 years, y'all have to rebuild damn near from scratch. You get a hurricane, an earthquake, a volcano, and you got to rebuild the whole island all over again. It is my assessment that they saw that and said, you know what? I could just rule these people from afar. That's why they owe you money. I could just rule them from afar. And I could come over here to where what we now call the United States, where the weather is much more stable. And I can just go visit there whenever I want. I'm gonna breed with you, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave my little half breeds in charge. So y'all can be confused about who's really in charge. And then when I didn't, you know, I didn't leave enough half breeds, so then I'm gonna bring in the Indian on you from India. Let them whoop on you. Let them be a buffer class on you. See, it wasn't that the fight, and I'll exclude Haiti from that. I'll exclude Haiti from that. But it wasn't that the fight was just so much that they couldn't take it. It wasn't worth it. But this land right here that we built, it was worth it for them to stay here. That's why they still won't leave. They just made yours a satellite. They could extract the resources from England or from here. They could extract the resources, the money, whatever. They could come over there, rent your rosters, come over there. I saw a video where this woman was so desperate after the whatchamacallit, she propositioned the newscaster while he was live trying to interview her. She propositioned him, what you gonna do for me? So they could come here, have romping shops with your women, rent the rosters when they feel like it, and go right back to here or over there across the pond. So you know, when people come in our faces talking about, you know, how long or whatever, honey, every 5 years, how can I see why it's so hard to get a leg up? Because I've heard of people who have built these beautiful homes in their island. And then all it takes is one hurricane and you back at zero. You're back at zero. Okay, let me hurry up. Okay. You were talking about the Pan-Africans, but y'all sit there, y'all say all these things, but y'all don't know, y'all approaching me at the parades. Then one last thing is your KFC. You talked about the KFC, that people sleeping with each other for KFC. Y'all stand in line. Y'all was ready to kill the people over the KFC, which is whose culture? Y'all not standing in line like that for jerk chicken. Y'all not standing in line for peas and rice and curry goat. Y'all not standing in line like that for ackee and saltfish. Y'all not standing in line like that for whatever food it is. I'm not gonna go down the line. But y'all standing in line for KFC. That is American culture, and we all know he stole the recipe from us. So I just wanted to bring that up, that this KFC that you love so much is ours. All right. So this is our call to actions here. And the first link, yes, this is the U.S. Freedmen Project. You can go to the website, check us out. Go to our website and check us out. Email us. That's how you can follow us on Twitter, and you can donate to the U.S. Freedmen Project. On a side note, we are collecting donations to get us to the hearing up in Utica, but I'll put my Cash App in the chat. It is $Brooke, just Brooke alone, $Brooke. So anyway, so moving down, we have an unconstitutional bill for reparations that the commission is founded on. You can find that link right there. And then we have a constitutionally sound bill. We would like you to send an email to our senators and our assembly people, getting them to co-sponsor and sponsor our constitutionally sound bill that is based on lineage, right? Both links to the bills are there. We are completely transparent, so you can read them both if you so see as fit. And then we are trying to disaggregate from the diaspora. Sorry, we got to do it. So we can get our reparations, and you guys have already done it from us. So now we're just going to do it on paper. And since y'all keep talking about it's only online, wait till it shows up on your census form. So we're disaggregating our numbers here. And so we have another bill that the U.S. Freedmen Project, President Devine and the other members of before I got there, and the other members of the U.S. Freedmen Project wrote with Assembly Person Nikki Lucas, who is our champion, who we love like cook food. And so you can find that link there. So you'll be sending emails to the Black Legislative Caucus. The next email you'll be sending is to all of the senators and assembly people, so we can lean on them so that they can co-sponsor and sponsor this bill. And then you're going to send another letter to Viola Swamp, aka Kathy Holcomb, right? Then so my personal request is that, I am tired of them having these presentations every hearing regarding the harms of slavery from the 1600s to present. I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear no more of this garbage. And so since they have to do this all the way till January 2028, I would like them to bring in our brother Andrew Barnes at Numbers USA to do a presentation for a hearing on how immigration has hurt FBA, right? And this is not something, and so the Pan-Africanists don't get too bent out of shape. It's not even centered on Pan-Africanism. This is immigration as a whole, because sometimes y'all forget that y'all are not the only immigrants here. And y'all ain't the first. That you ain't the first anti-Black immigrants that we had to deal with here. So we're going to ask our brother to do a presentation on that. And the last one, okay, I know a lot of us have sat all these elections out. We have picked the couch, right? But that's not enough. The Democratic Party we heard Sister Keisha talking about this earlier. The Democratic Party is the party of slavery. It is time that we do what we have to do to tear down the bricks of the Democratic Party. We are at, what was that movie? What was that movie? Oh my goodness, I'm seeing it in my head. When they went to the wall and it was raining outside, and they was pulling the bricks out the wall. I can't remember the name of that daggone movie. Anyway,
The Women of Brewster's Place.
Thank you, The Women of Brewster's Place. Yeah, so we need to go down that scene in The Women of Brewster's Place and remove the bricks from the Democratic Party. And the way you do that is to unregister yourself or as a Democrat. It's not enough to just sit on the couch and not vote Democrat. Remove yourself from the Democratic Party. Bring their numbers down to 0. And that is how you can remove the bricks, because you are the brick. You are the one that the Democratic Party is standing on top of. Your membership numbers. And so tear down the bricks by joining and becoming an independent non-party affiliate. Okay, and that is all. Thank you so much, Sister Keisha, for allowing me to do that. And Yeah, I just appreciate being here. Thank you so much for bringing us on every week to talk about what we, to discuss these things. And thank you, Sister Marcia, and thank you, Brother Black, even though you're not here. And I hope to see you next week.
Listen, until we get what we need, y'all on the Brooklyn Bridge, because I'm not with the shits. I'm not with the shits. We got to get what's rightfully ours. And, they give y'all grace. I'm not. So it's best that y'all have them on here, because I'm going to cook your ass every chance I get. Every chance I get. I don't give a damn how you feel. We got to get what's rightfully ours. We got to get what's rightfully ours. Period. So, Brother Divine, the U.S. Freeman Project President, your final thoughts and commentary.
Man, another fire episode per usual. I wanted to say, well, I just want to start a cheat that made me laugh. When she brought up KFC, I went to Jamaica for a week some time back, and throughout my entire stay, the longest I stood in line was to get some KFC in Jamaica for everything. I'm talking about excursions. I'm talking about on the resort, off the resort, shopping. The longest line that I waited in was for KFC. And it wasn't even that good. So I'm thinking it was some Jamaican KFC, right? It was going to have some extra spices, a 14th one. It was plain old KFC. So that was funny. But as I've said before, during that trip, in preparation for that trip, I polled Jamaican American friends. I made sure I learned things that I could say or not say in order to respect their culture. And while I was there, I tell this story often. There was an Afro-Jamaican that came to me and approached me, knowing that I would be receptive and say, hey, brother, while you here, please make it your business to just shop with us. If you're going to buy anything, buy from us, because a lot of the stores are owned by the Indo-Jamaicans. And even if they have some Afro-Jamaicans out front, it's still owned by them and they're making all the money. And so that's just a tidbit of how we get down, regardless of how you want to paint us. Understand that we are the only group that goes to your country and has ever helped you in our country, that is not trying to exploit you or give you the same bad deal that you're attempting to give us. So time is up and is stuck, not because that is in our nature, but it's because it's a part of yours. And so it's not anything that we're doing, because we would gladly love to provide reciprocity, but we're just giving out mutual energy. So if it's F me, you know it's F you. And I'll leave it there with that. I won't go anymore on those curse words. I've said enough. But going back to the what you played, and I've said this before, and I know I keep sounding like a broken record, but again, like I told Dr. Ron Daniels, because the truth don't change. I am so honored at the way in which foundational Black American women and foundational Black American men, alongside our foundational Black American children, are presenting, carrying ourselves, and showing up for one another during this foundational Black American Renaissance. The ways in which you sisters honor yourselves, but also honor us men, and in turn, us men honor ourselves and honor you, is something to behold, right? They love talking about how it was pre-segregation days. I mean, during segregation. And it's like they're missing the forest for the trees, because it's a new, improved movement happening in real time. of those same things. What's so interesting about that the conversation you were having, and this is something that you see a lot, and this is something that I presumed for a long time, but now it is playing out in real time for me to know that it's confirmation. A large majority of the Afro feminists that are coming out of our indoctrination camps, aka college campuses, due to gender studies, are of the Afro immigrant ilk. And what's interesting is what they do, despite the numbers that you gave. I mean, I didn't think it could get any more, heartbreaking until you played the video of those demons. But to see the numbers of FGM on the continent, and to know in a large number of those cases, those experiences radicalize the women of those cultures, and then they come here, and because of the parasitic nature and culture from which they fled, instead of taking that righteous anger and moving to correct what's happening in their culture with their men and their women that are performing this heinous butcher job on them, they fall right in line with the white supremacists that they have largely partnered with in the past. And they got the nerve to attack foundational Black American men, talking about the patriarchy, when we ain't never did nothing close to that to our women. Again, we come from a culture of, if we gonna put our hands on somebody, it's on somebody that, like Sister Keisha said, you don't even gotta lay a hand on one of our sisters. Let them come home and tell us something you did that's just untoward to them. And you might find yourself in an unpleasant situation and position. We ain't never done nothing like that to our women, but we become the face of toxic masculinity and patriarchy in this country. And we're the most progressive men probably on the planet, but definitely in the United States of America. And y'all got the nerve to try to come here and pathologize us. And then some of our sisters get on board with it. That's what makes me so thankful for the foundational Black American sisters in this movement. My sister does this all the time. I won't take her thunder. I'm not going to do the hand clap or the hand slap. But she always says, not on my watch. And I thank God for those of you that are not letting it happen on y'all watch. Because it's just adding to the power of our renaissance, the power of our movement, and showing and highlighting how long we've been down for one another, despite the popular belief. 85% of us marry each other when we get married. And y'all got the nerve to try to fudge the numbers or make excuses. Yo, make excuses for those football numbers for FGM on the what? Man, listen. If you're an African feminist, your number 1, 2, and 3 priority should be FGM. What are we talking about? And 4, 5, and 6 need to be the rape culture. You ain't got no space to talk about foundational Black American men that you ain't never even met or come into contact with in any major way. You out your damn mind. That's how we know you're agents of white supremacy. That's what you're here for. That is why you're here. And so I'll end on that. I end that portion of it. The last thing I wanted to say is this in closing. To the family, We told the story of what happened during the vote because we sent emails making sure they couldn't do no funny business when they tried to vote in Dr. Ron Daniels when he wasn't even present to be the vice chair, to give the Pan-African voice even more power at the state level in that commission. Emails saved the day. So I don't want you to think that it has no bearing. So that's one. So I want to let you guys know an update report, a progress report, if you will. These current emails that we're sending right now have already caused legislators that were ignoring us in the past. They now are hitting up the U.S. Freedom Project like, what is going on? When can we meet to talk about what is this disaggregation that we're getting all these emails about? So I want you guys to understand that in real time, it's working. And trust, another reason why we are on the bridge, in addition to our sister allowing us to use her platform, which we are eternally grateful for, is because we are 100% transparent. We talk about when we get in those meetings, the same thing I'm talking about on the bridge. you know what I'm telling them about why this irrigation is necessary? Maybe not in the same colorful language I'm using here, but the same thing I just told y'all on the bridge. And I want y'all to be able to take that to the bank. And we're transparent so you can see the progress and the process that we're taking, because I tell you guys all the time. Not only is the delineation movement allowing us, in the words of that problematic Brooklyn rapper that I grew up on, allowing us to reintroduce ourselves, but it's also letting you know that we're going through that, because hopefully you won't have to go through that. So we're meeting with them on your behalf while you're going to work, while you're taking care of all the things that have caused us to not be as politically engaged in the past as we could have been. We're taking care of that. We're handling that for you. We're taking your concerns, your thoughts in the room with us and letting them know, and trust, standing on business, because we cannot be swayed. We are not the activists. Nobody's paying us. You understand what I'm saying? So I want y'all to know that y'all got an advocate. I'm not saying we God, but if you grew up with some of the old things, especially in foundational Black American culture, y'all know what they call Jesus. He's a doctor in the sick room. He a lawyer in the courthouse. You understand what I'm saying? So I want y'all to know we're not Jesus, but the U.S. Freedom Project is your lobbyist, is your advocate in these political spaces. Trust and believe that, and that's why we stay on here, so that we can be fully transparent, so you can see what we're saying. You can see who I am. You can see who we are. And who we are is who we are, because we stand on it here and there and everywhere. And that's what standing on your square looks like, right? And that's why we've been able to come as far as we've gotten, but we can't get any further without you. So that's why we're asking, send the emails. It's working. It's working. And again, the meetings are for this disaggregation. The meetings are for us to get this thing to be constitutional. That's what the meetings are for. And so I just want to thank y'all for all that y'all have done so far, and keep up the great work on y'all end, because it's allowing us to do some great work not on our behalf, not for the U.S. Freedom Project, but for foundational Black Americans everywhere. This is a part of the Renaissance. This is a part of our political revolution. And so I just want to thank y'all for being a part of it. I'm just excited about where we're at now, but even more excited about where we're going, because the code is the leader. And I'll land in.
Man, that's why this bridge gonna keep burning. You're gonna keep burning, because like he said, we've been to a lot of hearings. Brother Devon and the U.S. Freedmen Project been meeting with a lot of folks. They had a whole business meeting to try to thwart what we were doing. But we came in Brooklyn with a whole new goddamn plan. We're going to show you how we can, what do you call it? Throw the alley-oop and you won't see it coming. Sister Brooke said, they trying to stop us from speaking. I'm like, don't worry about it. Let's get to them emails. You think they wasn't in there watching? They was watching heavy. They was watching heavy. Because they came out. And that's Brother Melrose. Okay? Shout out to Melrose Radio. We was the I dipped out. Right after I said what I said, I dipped out. Right, bro? They came outside. We've been saying we need lobbyists. The U.S. Freedmen's Project is a lobbyist. They are the lobby group for us. And you may not be able to make it. Uh-oh, you lost Sister Brooke. I don't know, something happened. Same with Brother Black. He lost his Wi-Fi. But I wanted to play this because we was talking about Kentucky Fried Chicken over there. This is back in 2018. We walking around the streets. You know, I'm not gonna stay on the resort. I'm outside. I want y'all to see this. Hold on.
Yeah, trust me. We aren't forever, man. Walking back from the fucking KFC. Yeah. Packed as fuck. Yeah.
It's crazy out here.
Now you know they say why. Oh, black people love chicken. Jamaicans love chicken as a motherfucker.
That's all we eat. Like, there's nothing else to eat but chicken.
Crazy.
Too cold to get fish. It's crazy, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. Hold on. Straight Black Talk Radio. You got more.
I told you. I had to let y'all see that. Sister Marcia, your final thoughts and commentary.
So much to say. I'd like to start off with the women or the people that were from another place that were talking about FBA. And I'd like to say this much, that with algorithms and the way algorithms work, I don't know that they've been invested in an FBA or an ADOS or anything for 10 years, 5 years, or 2 years. I think they're banning on a bandwagon of algorithm talk, and they are talking algorithms so that they can get the views, that they can get the likes. And I think that's one of the most damaging thing that people from other places who are popping up into conversation without a breath of history. And this is where I was going with Claude Anderson. And you all were saying, well, he was on the Breakfast Club. They may not have gotten that far to understand the breadth and width of this conversation. They're popping up because it's popular talk. And we who are here have been doing this for 20 plus years, 30 plus years. From the times we came out of our mothers, we knew that there was something that needed to be changed in society, and we worked on finding that story. And I'm not giving these people a pass. I just understand that a lot of my people meaning those from other places, need a lot of tutelage. And you don't want to give it to them? That's cool. That's cool. There's no harm in not wanting to teach people what they need to do, because at the same time as teaching people, you don't want to make people feel isolated from the struggle. They probably want to be a part of it, and then they probably want to be a part of the Black Caucus and be part of that conversation at the congressional level, where they know they're going to get money and stuff like that, because that's all those people are looking for. And so I'm not giving anyone a pass. All I'm saying is what I know from my story, from me talking to people who've just come in like me and who say, well, there's money in a 501c3, like Brother Devon was saying. Their businesses are funded by 501c3. So they look pretty from the outside, but when you dig deep, it's all bullcrap, because nothing is based on really wanting to serve the people on the land that they are. And I understand that. I've been through the ringer with all of these people. This is why Africans on the Rise is not taking any money. We are all self-funded. We do what we do. If we have one student, we have one student. If we have 10, we have 10. But this is why we do what we do in our own time and space with the people who are receptive of the information. I don't want to go out there and fight with people to learn about Dr. Claude Anderson, to read about Carter G. Woodson, to learn about anything about being who you are naturally. And the point of patriarchy, I'm not talking about patriarchy, and I know it's not centered on me, right? But I'm not talking about patriarchy from a Black man or a Black family standpoint. I am talking about patriarchy from the European standpoint, who has been continually destabilizing the Black family every time they get a leg up. Every time. This is why Tulsa is burned down. This is why Rosewood is burned down. This is why IET didn't go as far as it could go, because they come in and destabilize every effect that a Black man does in order to stabilize his family. And this is what I understand. I will never, ever tear down my Black people. I always know that everything is centered around white capitalism and white patriarchy. I will never forget that. And I never pin people against people, because I understand it's so complex. And as long as we sit there and do the complexity story and start pinning each other, we're not going to find and I don't want to do the kumbaya thing, right? But we're not going to find the place where we can work together and build together, because everyone has their own station. FBA has its own station. And I don't even know if I am PA or Pan-African. I just know that Pan-Africanism is what has brought me where I am. But it's brought me where I am through history, through reading, not through personalities, not financially, not anything. It's just through reading. Oh, here's a list of books to read. Oh, okay, here's a list. That's what Pan-Africanism has done for me. It hasn't brought any type of gains in that sense, because if that's the point, I've walked away from it, because I found that the patriarchy has limited the woman's voice. And I don't want to be limited. I want our children. Our children are the first voices, right? Because we're going to die. So it's them. So if we don't see them with the correct knowledge, we're just wasting time the same way our current elders have wasted time in the system. And we don't have no more time to waste. So we have to embark the correct knowledge into our children so our children can push us forward. We can't put at a certain point, once you pass 45, I don't know what you're going to say, but you can go but just so far. All you can do is pass on knowledge and support the future and give the future the right information to go forward. And I agree. Anyone in your same age bracket, you can't teach them. You can, hey, let's look at this. Let's look at it from this standpoint. Let's do certain things. And this is where I think those people are coming from. They're coming from an algorithm standpoint, and they need to be taught, because they don't know nothing. The same way with Jamani. Jamani, I met him when he was running in circles where they were placing me, and I was like, I don't think this is a safe space for me. But he was looking at the dollars and cents, and those were safe spaces for him. And as long as anyone who comes across the Democratic Party or the Congressional Black Caucus sees dollars as their main objective, we are always going to be at the bottom end, because dollars always, I could pay my bills, I could do this, I could do that. I don't know what to say about that, but all I can say is that in my summation, that this problem that we have is bigger than anything that we talk about. And it's really about a lot of work and a lot of investment. And if there's some things that you don't want to do, or there's some things that you're not willing to do, that's cool. There are other people that are willing to invest and do those things. And that's the way things go. Everybody has their place, and everybody has their line to run, and let them run their line with speed. And you encourage that person to run that line, as I encourage you all to run the lines that you run. With that said, given time is coming, and it's also my birthday weekend. Hey, happy birthday to me. As I roll around this sun again, and I tell the sun, thank you for anointing me the privilege of not only being on this platform, but being my mother's daughter, being my son's mother, and being the community member that I am. I thank the universe for allowing me this time and in this space, and for it to continue and grow in so many different ways for all of us. Because this prayer that I have in my heart is not just for me, it's for our people as a whole, so that we can see that we are above the Eurocentric idea, the Eurocentric capitalism, and everything else. And I don't think we'll be on next Thursday, but Sister Keisha, you keep me abreast, because I'll be cooking and doing family time, because family is most important. But I'm also annually, I do with Granville T. Woods, they do a give back to the community. If anyone's ever interested, it's on Jamaica Avenue on 164th. They're giving a gift bag. They do clothes drive. They feed the people and stuff like that. So if you want to drop in, drop by. It starts at like 9 o'clock. And from 9 to 1, something like that. I think I shared it with Sister Keisha, but if I didn't, it's 9 o'clock, Jamaica Avenue, 164th Street. You can't miss it. If you want to give, and if you don't, just send good praises that no crazy person comes in my face, so I don't have to spit on them. But with all of that said, may time flourish, or make it flourish. Fight with that bitch, because that bitch is yours. It's yours to handle and mangle any which way you can. And I love y'all all, and I'll see y'all next year for me. It's my new year. It's my new year.
Absolutely. We lost Brother Black again. Again, enjoy your birthday weekend, sis. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy. All right, listen.
Okay.
But
I don't know. Hold on. I don't know if I said this last time, but I wanted to say this time. If I did, forgive me for repeating it. But one of the backup singers for that song is down with the Freedman Project. That sang on that song with Stevie Wonder. Yes. So, and happy birthday, Sister Marcia.
now you know. Now you know. If you didn't know before, now you know. Like I said, we lost Brother Black again. Shout out to BX, the gatekeeper. Please follow BX Network on YouTube. Please follow BX Network on YouTube. I put her article in the chat. Please read it at your leisure. You won't be disappointed. As I said before, this Renaissance is bringing us together in ways like never before. And everybody who wasn't on code, you're getting a slap in the face like you should have did. Like we should have given you a long time ago. You're getting that smack in the face. And we don't give a damn. So no, we won't be on next week. Team Swap will be out in the streets handing out gloves, scarves, and hats to our people like we always do. Normally we out there feeding people. This year we're going to give out some gloves, hat, and scarves. So look out for Team Swap throughout the city making that happen. You might shoot over to Jersey. Who knows? You never know where we going to pull up at. But that's what we do. That's what we do. Shout out to Team Swap always. But before we go, because, some people may forget some things. And I got to play this again, just as a reminder.
This is our country. Don't forget that. Don't let anybody tell you any different. This is our country. The first thing that this country did from an export standpoint was agriculture. That's us. Built Washington, D.C., built the South, built a whole lot of things. That's what we must celebrate. As we go into next year, we celebrate America 250. The Coca-Cola system is one of the largest sponsors of America 250. And sometimes there's whispers about, because I've heard it, how will Black America celebrate America 250? And I'll say this, I think we should do an awesome job celebrating America 250. Because America wouldn't be America without us. And more importantly, America will not be America. America will not be great without us. We are part of the fabric, an important part of the fabric of America. You must always understand this. This is not about Coca-Cola, John Deere, or none of that stuff. This is about us. And we always must remember that. America will not be America without us. This is our country.
Like I said, we on code and united, FBA that is, like never before. Like never before. When Garvey came here, he recognized and said it. We are the best. UNIA wouldn't be jack without us. It's just a fact. That's what he said. He also said, in order to save y'all from the diaspora, that you have to intermarry with us. In that very same book, that's what he said. Otherwise, you can't be saved. Y'all don't gotta read. Y'all don't believe me, read the book. Sister Marcia, that's my sister from another mister. She gonna give you some info and some knowledge, but I'm gonna cuss your ass out. Because I don't care. I'm telling you, I come from the loins of a real G from these Brooklyn streets. A real one. Not no fake one, but a real one. And I stand on that. I moved the way I moved because the men in my family got me. Got me. Even my 8-year-old grandson. Mess with his nana and see what happens. It's up. It's up. So I'm just saying, Sister Marcia's son, don't play with me. He's going to see you outside. Don't play with me. Don't. Ask Brother Tad about his daughter Kayla. They don't play about me because I'm genuine and I'm for real with it. I don't beat around the bush and I don't play no games. You in 2025. If you don't know what time it is, that's on you. That's on you. But this freight train is moving. So Enjoy your time with your family. Enjoy time with yourself. But I'll be connected with my family. I hope y'all connect with yours. I'm about to eat good in the neighborhood. And it's on. Them recipes that have been passed down. Family gathering like never before. That's why Tad ain't here today. He had to do something for the family. That's how we move. He know members on both sides of my family. Real ones. Not no fake ones. Real ones. And so whether it's Jamani Williams, Tamika Mallory, or whoever, tread lightly with me. Tread lightly with me. You don't want them kind of problems. And for all you bootlicks out there, we're going to close the show for this with y'all. Here we go. I'm on the bootleg bus. On the bootleg bus. How about I see you on the bootleg bus?
Step in line, don't make a fuss. Shiny shoes, no dirt, no dust. Keep your head down, don't discuss. Welcome aboard the bootleg bus. Join the bootleg bus. Join the bootleg bus. They don't break no rules on the bootleg bus. Polish up your pride, it's a must, must, must. They love your silence on the bootleg bus. Sit real straight, don't lean too far. No wild dreams, no shooting star.
As long as you pay me, I'll say anything.
Don't question who's behind the bar. Join the bootleg bus.
I came up on your culture, now I deny you have one.
On the bootleg bus.
This is my truth, and it's a heavy burden to bear.
They love your quiet on the bootleg bus. Hands on your lap, eyes on the road. Carry the weight, don't drop the load. Follow the leader, do what you're told. And when it's cold, they'll hand you home. Join the bootleg bus. Join the bootleg bus. They don't break no rules on the bootleg bus.
If it ain't shilling, it ain't me.
They laugh at your spark on the bootleg bus. Oh,
Stay off that bootleg bus. We out, y'all. Good night.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From brother Tad to sister K, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcy brings the heat, brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Thursday nights the world will see. Black power media on a spree. Facebook, YouTube all aligned. Breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics. Every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true. For the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Social talk and politics. Every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true. For the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves.